We'd like to get all the senior football players up with their parents, please. All senior band members in line with your parents. Good job, cheerleaders. You're all there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to senior night here at Stow-Munroe Falls High School. We'd like to introduce all the football, cheerleading, and band seniors with their family. So we'd like to start off with the class of 2021 football player, Zach DiGammarino, with his mother, Erin DiGammarino, his father, Scott, and stepmom, Jen DiGammarino. Our next football player is Michael Azar with his parents, Mike and Tamika Azar. Next football player, Braden Krogan with Sean and Lori Krogan. Next football player, Billy Lukatich, with his parents, Michelle and Patrick Lukatich. Next football player, Drew Groan, with Michael and Emily Groan. And Michael is our photographer. Next football player, Jack Costa, with his parents, Dominic and Sandy, and his sister, Sydney. Next football player, Jack Bryden, with his parents, Mike Bryden and Robin Brady. Stephen Mangiera, with his parents, Peter and Dorcas Mangiera. Next football player, Joey Lowry, with his parents, Joe and Megan Lowry. Next football player, Garrett Guarinello, with his parents, Daryl and Ann Guarinello. Next football player, Brendan Horrocks, with his parents, Michael and Tammy Horrocks. Next football player, Justin Waitman, with his parents, Wendy and Dave Waitman. Next football player, Bladen Alder, with his parents, Stacy and Chris Alder. Next football player, Dalen Stovall, with Vishad and Heather Stovall. Saku Kamara, with Austin Clopton. Next football player, Clayton Mosier, with his parents, Kent and Lynn Mosier. D'Anthony Becton, with Anthony and Michelle Becton. Next football player, Zach Lane, with his parents, Dennis and Beth Lane. Next football player, Nick Volante, with Nick and Sharon Volante. Next football player, Chris Miranda, with his parents, Ray and Teresa Miranda. Next football player, Stanley Gray, with his aunt, LaTanya Jackson, and grandmother, Pat Teemer. And now we'd like to introduce our cheerleaders. First cheerleader, Macy Hodge, with her parents, Matt and Trisha Hodge. Next cheerleader, Marissa Moscow, with her parents, Greg and Linda Moscow. Next cheerleader, Aubrey McAdam, with her parents, Steve and Leanne, and her brother, Austin. Could everybody please give Steve a prayer? He was hit by a car this week on the highway. Megan Montoni with her mom Beth and her nephew Miles. Our next cheerleader, Lindsay Riggs with Nick and Stephanie Riggs. Brett Markham with parents, Jason, Nicole, and children, Ainsley and Wyatt. Our last cheerleader, Emily Keller, with her parents, Brian, Denise, and sister, Maddie Keller. Now we're ready to start with the band. Our first band member, Tyler Rice, with parents, Jason and Nicole Rice. Elijah Fawcett, with parents, John and Lisa Fawcett. Hannah Dean, with her parents, Jason and Michelle Dean. Our next band member, Murphy Brown, with her parents, Michael and Roxanne Brown. Our next band member, Allie Rudman, with her mother, Michelle Rudman. Kaylee Campus, with her parents, Steve and Kathy Ritchie. Our next band member, Nate Pigman, with his parents, Ben and Kim Pigman. Our next band member, Spring Biggs, with her parents, Joel and Jennifer Biggs, and all her younger siblings. Our next band member, Sophia Cameron, with her parents, John and Nicole Cameron. Next band member, Carson Smith, with Ray Smith, Kelly Junglin, Landon Smith, and Aaron Junglin. Our next band member, Grant Morris, with his mother, Carla Morris. Next band members, Nick and Paige Schrickle, with parents Chris and Jenny Schrickle. Chris is the band announcer. Next band member, Max Julie, with Floyd and Sharon Jusley. Next band member, Mackenzie Klein, with Scott and Sandy Klein. Next band member, Morgan Eisenman, with Jeff and Susan Eisenman. Our next band member, Kaylee Lott, with her parents, Matt and Tammy Lott. Our next band member, Alyssa Jundy, with her parents, Mike and Lisa Jundy. Our next band member, Tyler Dollar, with Janine Dickman. Our next band member, Gabe Leatherman, with mother Janelle, father Scott, and sister Grace Maruna. Reagan Gabanyak, with her parents Matt and Maria Gabanyak. Next band member, Stephen Toth, with his parents, Brian and Sharon Toth. Our next band member, Nathan Johnson, with parents, Ed and Wendy Johnson. Our next band member, the student conductor, Casey Jacobs, with her parents, Nick and Stephanie Jacobs. Our next band member, Henry Brosh, with his parents, Martin and Maria Brosh. Our next senior, Mackenzie Crow, with the parents Jeannie and Douglas Crow. Next band member, Claudia Serena, with her parents Todd and Michelle Serena. Next band member, Seth LaMancusa, with Mike and Lori LaMancusa. Next band member, Blake Taburin, with Jeremy and Krista Taburin. Ethan Moden, with parents Christina and Jerry Moden. Next band member, Christopher Chakosky, with Amy and Chester Chakosky and brother Benjamin. Next band member, Caitlin O'Brien with Tim and Kathy O'Brien. Our next band member, Dylan Zepp, with parents Matt and Kim Zepp. Our next band member, Ashley Anzaldi, with Raellen and Dean Anzaldi. Our next band member, Nicole Bonnell, with Sam and Diane Bonnell. Next band member, Erica Jarris, with Jennifer Jarris, her mother. Our next band member, Olivia Valinati, with parents Carol and Dave. Our next band member, Connor Kirkner, with parents Jeff and Holly Kirkner. Next band member, Brandon Valdez, with parents Gerardo and Tina Valdez. Our next band member, Katie Bohannon, with parents Lynn and Arthur. Next band member, Sarah May, with parents Steve and Caroline May. Our next band member, Joe Berry, with Todd and Debbie Berry. Our next band member, Joseph Doty, with parents Leo and Tony Doty. Next band member, Olivia Rainey, with her parents Bob and Tanya Rainey. Our next band member, Lizzie McCarter, with her father and mother, Mark and Mary McCarter. Next band member, Francis Bernhardt, with his parents, Suzanne and James Bernhardt. Next band member, Emily Kaiser with Steve and Gabrielle Kaiser. Our next band member, Paul Zhao with Jinhua and Jifeng Zhao. Our next band member, Cassidy McGee with Scott McGee and Alyssa Graycar. Our last member, Nicholas Patton, with his mother, Lisa Whitaker, and little brother, Spencer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the class of 2021. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stow-Munroe Falls High School, Ron Marhofer Auto Family Field for tonight's football game. We are glad you're here with us tonight. However, we want to remind you of our COVID guidelines and requirements that include wearing your mask at all times and maintaining 6-foot social distance. Also, we're very happy to be approved by the Ohio Department of Health for a variance for an additional 481 spectators to be used by families for our home football events. Please use the marked boxes on the stadium hills marked with a circular dot for families to sit together. Please remember to be socially distanced as you find a square to sit on the side of the hill, as we must be compliant in the following these guidelines. Thank you for being diligent and wearing your mask and being socially distanced so we can continue to attend events for our students. This is week number 5 of the varsity football season for the 2020 Stow-Munroe Falls High School Bulldogs. Their record is 3-0. We had one cancellation because of a COVID issue with Wadsworth. Tonight we'll be competing against the Bees of Brecksville-Broadview Heights. Their record is 3-1. Stow defeated the Bears of North Royalton last week on the road with a score of 21-14, while the Bees beat Barberton 45-31. The Bees currently sit in 8th place in Division II, Region 6 of the Joe Idle rankings, and the Bulldogs are ranked 6th in Division I, Region 1. Stow will be conducting their senior night, as you know, tonight, so make sure to thank all those seniors for the class of 2021. Teams are doing the coin toss at this time. Brecksville won the coin toss. They deferred for the second half. They will be kicking off on the north side of the stadium. Stow will be receiving on the south side. Now we'd like to introduce your Stow-Munroe Falls Bulldogs starting lineups. For the offense, quarterback, 6'5", 190 pounds, a junior, number 3, Owen Bainbridge. Running back, 5'11", 180-pound senior, number 11, Jack Bryden. Wide receiver, 6'4", 195-pound senior, number 8, Dalen Stovall. Wide receiver, 5'9", 165-pound senior, number 4, Billy Lukatic. Wide receiver, 5'10", 170-pound senior, number 7, Jack Costa. Wide receiver, 5'9", 175-pound senior, number 5, Justin Waitman. Left tackle, 6'4", 290-pound junior, number 67, Van Schaika. Left guard, 6'4", 345-pound sophomore, number 78, Keon Johnson. Center, 6'2", 265-pound junior, number 64, Zach Phillips. Right guard, 6'5", 300-pound sophomore, number 71, Brad Leonard. Right tackle, 6'4", 300-pound junior, number 62, Mason Manel. And now I'd like to introduce the defense. Middle linebacker, 6'1", 180-pound senior, number 91, Drew Grown. Playing wheel linebacker, 6 foot, 205-pound sophomore, number 32, Teddy Gregory. Outside linebacker, 6'1", 180-pound senior, number 14, Saku Kamara. Outside linebacker, 6'1", 190-pound senior, number 10, Stephen Mangira. Defensive line, 6'1", 220-pound senior, 95, Zach Lane. Defensive line, 6'1", 195-pound junior, number 45, Caden Spiegel. Defensive line, 6'2", 185-pound senior, number 50, Braden Krogan. Cornerback, 6 foot, 175-pound junior, number 13, Vance Shepard. Cornerback, 6'4", 195-pound senior, number 8, Dalen Stovall. Playing free safety, 6 foot, 200-pound senior, number 17, Clayton Mosier. Playing free safety, 5'10", 175-pound senior, number 22, DeAnthony Becton. And for your special teams, your kicker, 6'2", 260-pound senior, number 86, Brandon Horrocks. Your punter, 5'10", 160-pound sophomore, number 34, Frankie Miller. The long snapper, 6 foot, 175-pound senior, number 51, Zach DiGamarino. And the holder, 5'9", 165-pound senior, number 4, Billy Lukatich.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Don't bother looking at your watch because everybody in Stow already knows exactly what time it is. That's right. It's 10:30. So put your hands together and freshmen to honor the class of 2021 for their hard work and leadership in the band program for the past 4 years. The band will now perform from their 2017 show, the 1980 Journey Billboard hit, Any Way You Want It. Rise for the playing at the Stow-Munroe Falls High School, alma mater.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and remove your hats as we honor America and the men and women serving our country with the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
sides for this game are friendly rivals. While play may be fierce, all in attendance tonight are reminded that this is a game between youngsters and that sporting behavior is expected. The officials assigned to this game have been selected and assigned according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The officials are referee Gartrell Bentley, umpire Farron Murphy, linesman Rick Mason, line judge Johnny Robinson, and back judge Steve Shanley. Now we'd like to introduce the visiting team, the Brecksville-Broadview Heights Bees. Head coach, Martin Poder. The Bees' record is 3-1. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you your 2020 Stow-Munroe Falls Bulldogs! Your Bulldogs head coach is Tom Phillips. His assistants are John Nemick, Jim Fox, Dean Hawkins, John Shum, Glenn Kruger, Cardell Jackson, Trey Thomas, and Curtis Black. The freshman coaches are Kevin Peterson, Tim Jewell, Mike Lewandowski, and Joe Dell. The Bulldogs record is 3-0.
And look at Bainbridge, he can also run, and then Kubitz on the other side, plus Labus, and the passing game that the Bees have. And of course the Bulldogs as well. Not just Stovall, who's a Toledo commit, but they've also got Costa and Waitman, who are both very reliable targets for Bainbridge. I mean, this has got the makings of a great shootout win here at Bulldog Stadium.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. What's good about Bainbridge is that he's a double threat quarterback, so he can throw the ball very well, and he can also run very well. So it should be interesting to see if he will throw more today or run more today. It just depends how good the coverage is on Brecksville defense and how open the receivers can get for Stowe, especially with their receiver Costa. I know he likes to target him a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And now teams getting into our last huddle here before we get back to kickoff. And we're just probably 30 or so seconds away from kickoff here at Bulldog Stadium. Almost said Mount Union Stadium out of habit. Man,
it happens. It happens.
It happens to the best of us, that's for sure. But great to get on the road here this week. Get away from the EBC.
Yeah, it's fortunate that Governor Mike DeWine kept high school football, and obviously it's not as we're used to, but some football is better than nothing right now. So at least we get high school football, and we're going to have to wait for the OHC action to come back in March. But it's still good to see some football in general. So it's nice. It's a good weather today. Nice breeze here in Stowe. So big school. I know you went here, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So
proud alum.
Yeah, it feels good to come back to the family roots. So.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday when Athletic Director Kyle Feldman texted me and asked me to bring a crew up here, I couldn't say no. I mean, not just as my alma mater, but a great matchup. Like I've said multiple times, two great teams here in Brecksville and Stowe. I couldn't turn it down. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for not turning it down. I mean, 3-0 and 3-1. I mean, and these are both teams that score a lot of points. So I am curious to see, will that continue tonight? We could see like a 45, or excuse me, 42-35, 42-49 game, or will we see like a 7-0 game? It should be interesting to see because they both score a lot.
Should be a fun night. And yeah, Brecksville, their only loss on the season, you mentioned 3-1, is to a Hudson squad that's been ranked very highly in D2 so far this year. 38-28 loss at home against Hudson back on the 4th. So this is not a pushover team. This is a very good team. Their only blemish is against a darn good squad in Hudson. Nothing to be ashamed of there. That's a good program that's starting to get running again after kind of falling off for a couple years. But now we've got Mosher and Becton deep for the Bulldogs waiting. And we're breaking the huddles, and we're going to get underway here at Mount Union. I did it again, Jared. I did it again. It's a force of habit.
Yeah, I don't.
Only games I've called this year have been at Alliance, so it
Yeah.
just.
I mean, I'm fortunate enough. This is my first game this year, so I got to get used to saying Stowe and Brecksville too.
Yeah, but it'll be Brecksville kicking off here to start off the half. Like I said, Becton and Mosher are back deep to return. And teed up to kick off for the Bees is number 45, David McCreary.
And we were watching both kickers during warm-ups. They hit pretty well.
And we're underway here at the corner of Newcomer and Graham and Stowe. A bobbled kickoff, short squib, but the Bulldogs are going to get it, and they're going to get stopped about the 40-yard line.
Interesting approach there, squib kick to start the game off.
I don't believe that was what he intended to do. He probably just slightly mishit that ball there. That would be my guess, because that ball, and normally a squib kick would go farther than that. That one seemed to hit the ground closer to midfield, the 45, before bouncing into the Bulldogs' hand. And so it'll be 1st and 10 here from the 41, pardon me. And the Bulldogs rate starting field position here for Bainbridge and company. Bainbridge with a pair of receivers out to either side and a running back to the right. Bainbridge back to pass. Pressure coming, steps up, fires out to the sideline, has Stovall, and Stovall dragged down at the 45.
That's a good first pass right there. Good 5 yards. Got rid of it quickly. Almost got sacked there, but it was good. He had enough time in the pocket to get rid of it.
That's something you bring up there. He stayed poised in the pocket, even with the pressure starting to close in from the side. Bainbridge back to pass now. Fires out. He has a man. It's Stovall along the sideline, out at the 50, maybe the 49 of the Bees. And that might, and it will be a first down for the Bulldogs. So we'll get just past the 50, and that'll be a first down for the Bulldogs.
Good first 2 drives. Out routes, those always work well.
And accurate passes too. Hits his man in the hands.
Right in the chest.
Sends a man in motion. Bainbridge. Hands off up the middle. And it'll be dropped for a short gain there. On the carry was number 11 for the Bulldogs, Jack Bryden. And that'll bring us to a 2nd and 7. And not much there, but a good run to start off the drive there. Just kind of puncture the defense a little bit.
As long as they keep moving the chains.
And Bainbridge back to pass. Fires over the middle, has a man, and dropped there. Almost had it there. Jack Costa.
Yeah, number 7. That was probably a touchdown pass right there. Just lost it in his hands.
And Costa, that's definitely going to be one he wants back. It hit him right in the hands, just didn't look it in there. But you said it was almost a touchdown pass. It probably was, based on the separation he had there in the middle. If he holds on to that, he's probably gone for a 47-yard touchdown. 3 out to the right, 1 to the left, and a running back behind Bainbridge. Bainbridge, play action, rolling out to his right, fires along the sideline, and broken up there on the pass to Costa. That's going to bring us to 4th down.
That was good coverage by B's number 10, Carter Lloyd. He saw it and read it and knocked it out of his hands. So they'll have to punt it, unfortunately. So not a good first drive for Stowe, unfortunately.
But unfortunately, the Bulldogs' first drive is going to peter out at midfield after a promising start off the kickoff in terms of field position, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
Oh, I misspoke.
Tom Phillips is a gambling man. This is a man who likes going for 2, and He's going to take the risk here. 2 to the right. Bainbridge is just going to punt it and send that one deep into the end zone for a touchback. And Bainbridge at the last second there drops back a few steps and sends one deep.
I think he saw the coverage, and it was like a game time decision whether he wanted to punt it or throw it. But I think it was a good decision overall. I think it's too early in the game to go for 4th down. Good punt. So it's in the end zone for a touchback, but I think it will work out because they have good field position to start.
And certainly with a team like the Bees, with the weapons that they have, you don't want to take a risk and give them a field position right at the 50 this early in the game. And that's a nice play there, having Bainbridge have the option to drop back to punt. Definitely a nice little trick up the Bulldogs' sleeve. And now we'll get a first look at Joey Labus, the Iowa commit, as he and the Bees get underway here on their first offensive drive of the game. 10-13 left here in the first at Bulldogs Stadium. Labus gets the Bulldogs to jump, and I believe that is going to be going against Stow.
Oh, we have a false start on the Bees.
Looked like it was Stow. They got guys jumping at the same side on both sides of the line. It's going to be the Bees that jumped first.
Both teams are pointing at each other, so I thought it was, I agree with you, man. I thought it was Stow that had encroachment, but I guess it goes on the Bees' offensive line.
And now Labus has 2 out to his left, 1 to his right, and a running back next to him in the backfield. Hand up the middle, Kubitz. Kubitz still on his feet, going around the left side, and finally forced out of bounds around the first down marker. This might be 2nd and short, though. And for Kubitz, picking up right where he left off last week with a nice strong run to open up the day. And pardon me, 1st and 10. They'll say he just got just far enough for the first down. Labus sends a man in motion. Hand off to Kubitz. Kubitz up the middle and wrapped up after about 5 yards.
Yeah, they're working the run game very, very nicely so far. They had a good 2 first runs.
And you can see why. I mean, Kubitz, strong runs to start off there. And if I were Coach Potter, I'd go back to him too.
If their defense can't stop the run, yeah, I agree. I would keep going to the run.
Labus back to pass, fires over the middle, has a man, and that's going to be a first down at about the 45-yard line for the Bees.
That was a great pass to Luke Buckley, number 4 of the Bees. Marching right down the field as they'll be on about the 45-yard line.
And now 1st and 10 here, 45-yard line. Bees starting to get driving here. Labus tries to draw the Bulldogs off sides. Labus back to pass, fires short, has a man. 2 Bulldogs in the zip code, and they blow that one up there before it can go anywhere.
That was a good play by Bulldogs defense. They read it perfectly and got it for a loss.
And Trey Green, once he caught that, not much he could do there with 2 Bulldogs coming real in hot to sniff that one out.
That was a 1-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down 11 for Brecksville on their 44-yard line.
Labus now, he has 2 men out to his left, a man to his right, and Kubitz in the backfield. Hand off to Kubitz up the middle. Kubitz still on his feet, drags a couple defenders, and he'll go down about the 45 in Bulldogs territory.
Bring up 3rd and 4, it looks like. So let's see if the Bees here can convert on 3rd down.
Brings the ball to Stow's 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
And now 3rd and 4th here. I'd expect him to go to Kubitz here. He's been a very strong runner on the ground for him. I don't know why he would change it now.
Yeah, I agree. I see a run here.
Labus running the option, hands off to Kubitz around the left side. Kubitz tries to turn the corner, and the Bulldogs blow it up. And that's going to bring us to 4th down. The Bulldogs are going to force the Bees to punt.
That's great. Both Bulldogs read the option, and they didn't get the first down there. So both teams not scoring on their first possession. So we might be looking at a shootout here, like you said, like we said earlier. It could be a 7-0, 14-7 game. So it looks like the Bees are going to punt.
And we're seeing Bees trying to get the play in here. 10 seconds on the play clock. We might be going towards a timeout here if they don't break.
They might try to jump them off sides.
This is true. That's something they've been trying to do regularly on this drive.
Yeah.
2 seconds on the play clock. And timeout Brecksville here. Bees are going to talk this one over here. 6:34 left here in the first quarter. Still a 0-0 tie. And both teams slow starts offensively. Once they get up to midfield, they haven't been able to get much further than that, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have had a chance with the ball so far, and they really haven't got much yardage in it. So we're trying to see a good first drive with yardage.
That's for sure. And the Bulldogs coming into this one firing on all cylinders. It's senior night. Don't want to drop it here. And they want to get a win here for the senior class on their special night.
Yeah, it is senior day here at Stow. We saw the senior stuff pregame, and Stow's got a lot of seniors, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big school, big senior day line. And like you said, you were surprised by it, and I'm sure a lot of people coming from a smaller school would be. And the Bees look to be going for it. 3 men split out right, 1 to the left, and Kubitz in the backfield. Labus back to pass. Pressure coming, escapes the pocket, fires down the field, and almost intercepted there by D'Anthony Beckton.
There is a flag on the play, though.
And that might be pass interference. And that might give new life to the Bees' drive, but D'Anthony Beckton so close to coming up with a big play on his senior night.
That would have been a nice interception, but I think he would have preferred not to catch it because he might have not made it back to the line of scrimmage.
That's true. And looks like whatever that penalty was, it was going against the Bees because it's going to be 1st and 10 at midfield for the Bulldogs after a turnover on downs. And we'll see how Bainbridge and company come out here in the second drive after having had a look here at this defense for the Bees. 3 men split out to the left, a man to the right, and a running back behind Bainbridge. Bainbridge hands it up off the middle, and it's going to be about a 5-yard gain up the middle after dragging a pile.
That's what I love about running backs. Like, they always push through the pile to get more yardage as possible. So that was good by Stow's running back. I couldn't really see the number right there, but they ran the ball really good right there, getting, looks like 5 yards.
Yeah, it'll go down as a 5-yard run in the books, and a nice way to start up the drive there. Bulldogs up at the 45 of the Bees. 10 seconds on the play clock. 2 men split out either way with a running back at the hip of Bainbridge. Handoff. Oh, no, Bainbridge keeps it around the right side for about a 2-yard gain.
So we're seeing early here that both teams are sticking to their running game. Not a lot of passes so far.
Mm-hmm. And all the passes that have happened have been fairly short.
Except for Brecksville's last pass they had. But yeah, they've all been really short.
Mm-hmm. And now 3rd and 2nd, 5:20 remaining here in the first quarter. Bainbridge, 2 men split out both ways. Sends a man in motion. And Bainbridge keeps it around the right side, stiff arms a man, gets the first down and heads out of bounds for a first down.
That was very nice. They faked out the defense right there, got the first down.
Mm-hmm. A nice fake there to Bryden on a fake up the middle, and keeps it around the right side, and a nice stiff arm to hold the defender away to get the first.
Bryden and Bainbridge are a good combo. They both ran all those plays, and it was enough to get the first down, so that's good to see.
Mm-hmm. 3 men out to the left, 1 to the right. Bainbridge rolling out to his left. Sets, fires over the middle, has Stowball. Stowball caught it, and he's into And he's in, touchdown, Bulldogs. Drags the defender the last yard or so in, and the Bulldogs open the scoring here with 4:56 left in the first quarter.
Great to see they're on the board in the first quarter. That was a nice pass, rolled out of the pocket to the left side, and Stow-Munroe was there to catch it. That's a great first scoring drive for Stow.
And Bainbridge showing off the poise and the arm that's made him such a prospect at the quarterback position since he started out as a freshman here.
And it looks like they're going for two.
And the Bulldogs run it up the middle. And it looks like he may be in. No good. He's going to come up just short on the two-point conversion.
Looks like he was just short there.
It looks like he's going to come up just inches short there after running up the middle to try and punch it in for two. And so with 4:56 left in the first, that's going to make it a 6-0 game. Bulldogs lead here. And we'll see how Labus comes back and responds. Because now the pressure's on him to respond here, now that he's down a score. I would expect him to go to Kubitz a lot. But I kind of want to see Labus start dropping back and airing it out and showing off the arm and the ability that's made him an Iowa commit.
I'm sure he will. I mean, he's only had one drive, so he will. He just has to look for the receivers downfield and make sure they're not covered well.
Undoubtedly, but just as a football fan, I want to see that. It's not every day you see a Power 5 quarterback play right before your eyes.
That's true. That's true.
And now Horrocks has it teed up, and we're about to get back underway here at Bulldogs Stadium. Horrocks, a short squib kick bouncing up the middle of the field, finally pulled in by the Bees, and the Bees are going to finally be dragged down. No, pile's still going.
Got to fight for every yardage.
That's true. Finally going to go down about the 36 or the 37-yard line. And Drew Zabkar for the Bees really fought there. I mean, he was surrounded by a swarm of Bees and Bulldogs alike and pushed that pile a good 4 or so yards, it looked like, Jared.
Well, it's been interesting so far. I don't know if they've miskicked it or they've both done swim kicks, but very short on-the-ground kicks. So I'm very interested by both kickers so far.
You know, I'm starting to think it is a strategy thing because both teams do have dangerous return men, dangerous players that can return kicks and do a lot of damage there. So you put it on the ground, kind of lessen the ability of them to get blockers. It makes sense. Labus now. Handoff. Nope. Keeps it. Fires. Almost has a man there, but it's going to go right off his hand. Was going for the one-handed catch. Luke Ganem going for the Odell-style catch there over on the far sideline.
And that was a good route there. If he would have caught that, he would have gotten major yardage out of that for sure.
That's for sure. If that pass was just a little bit back more, Ganem wouldn't have had any trouble catching it. And he could have been gone there. He had nice separation there from the cornerback.
I think we're going to see a lot of touchdown passes and running touchdowns tonight.
So 2nd and 10 here from the Bees' 35-yard line. Bryden coming back on for the Bulldogs. And Brecksville breaks the huddle, and we're about to get back underway. Labus has a man split out to his left, a twin set out to his right, and Kubitz in the backfield behind him. Hand up the middle to Kubitz. Kubitz goes around the right side, still on his feet, turns his legs, and he's going to get dragged down about the 45-yard line. And that's going to bring just short. They're going to say it's 3rd and inches.
Kubitz has done really well so far in the running game. He's gotten many yards. I think he'll keep doing this throughout the game. He's just pushing through Stow's defense right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely been the focal point of their offensive, and Stow's had a hard time stopping him. He's just a strong runner.
He's got a lot of speed, too.
Labus, same formation, and looks like they're going to draw someone offsides. And that'll likely be going against Brecksville.
Another false start on the line for Brecksville, and that's 2 now in this first quarter.
And I really thought they had Stow that time. They've been trying to draw them off sides pretty much every play tonight. and haven't been able to get success, but have only hurt themselves with 2 false start penalties. And so that'll back them up to the 39 and make it 3rd and 6 here with 4:01 remaining in the quarter. Labus tries to drum offsides. Hands off to Kubitz. Kubitz grabbed by a Bulldog right there at the line, and he's going to get dragged down for negative yardage.
That's his first negative run of the game.
It's very early on, but yeah, I mean, he's been strong every time he's gotten the ball. This time, a Bulldog just got a fistful of him and dragged him down.
And that's brings them to 4th down. So they are in Stowe territory. So I would think a punt here because it's 4th and 7. But I don't see them lined up in the punting formation. So it looks like they're going to go for it.
And that's a gutsy move there by the Bees.
Unless they're going to try to draw them off sides.
4th and 7 here. Sends a man in motion. Labus rolling out, and he's going to punt. And that's going to go down and bounce close to the goal line. And the Bees, oh, they're going to get there just in time. And they're going to down him at the 1.
That was a great punt by Labus there. That just trickled and rolled all the way to the goal line, basically. And it's ironic, too, because we've seen both quarterbacks punt today so far, not their actual punters.
Yeah, a great play there. He's got blockers up front, runs out to the sides, nothing there, and so he just punts it away. That's a great play design by the Bees. And for Stowe, that's going to pin him right up into the end zone. Can't afford to make any mistakes here. And I don't know, do you run here or do you pass here, Jared?
If you're on the 1-yard line, unless you have quick slant or out routes, I would run it because you got to get out of that end zone.
And Stowe, twin sets either way. And a running back to the hip of Bainbridge. Bainbridge back to pass, fires along the far sideline, has a man. Oh, and broken up there by number 11 for the Bees, Trey Green. Another great pass breakup.
It was good coverage by Trey Green. He batted it away, and that'll be 2nd down now for Stowe.
And that was a great play there by Green. He does a good job staying tight and then playing the ball, not the man.
Except for that touchdown pass, Brecksville defense has been good on covering Stowe's receivers today.
Stowe with a trio to the right, a man to the left, and a running back to Bainbridge's left hip. Bainbridge back to pass, fires quick on the quick slant and broken up on the attempted slant to Dalen Stovall. And just like that, we're going to 3rd and 10 from the 1.
So they, like I presume, they did the quick slant and then the out route. So you figure you need 10 yards, so they're probably going to pass it again.
And Jeremy Ginazzo in on the coverage there, did a great job breaking that up there. Bainbridge now back to pass, pressure's coming. Fires into the dirt, and we'll see if he got it off before he went down. Bees want a safety.
And they're going to get a safety on the intentional grounding, it looks like.
And he's going to call for intentional grounding, yes. So that's going to be a safety going against the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs' lead's going to shrink to 4 here.
Unfortunate play there for Bainbridge because now they have to give the ball to the Bees as well. So now it'll be 6-2 Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs starting to really move in the opposite direction they need to here. 2:49 remaining here in the first. And like you said, punting off now to the Bees. Defensively, they need to dial in here and really just dig deep.
They need to have a really good stop and then score some points on the scoreboard. But such a weird score so far, 6-2. It seems like a baseball score.
I was gonna say that's a baseball score. That's it's like a 3-2 game. A field goal and a safety. Some scores like that, that's a baseball score. You never see it in the game of football.
Yeah.
So a pretty unique thing here.
I'm assuming they'll do another squib kick here.
And the Bulldogs kicking off from the 20. And Horrocks back to kick. And he's going to send this one dribbling along the field, up midfield, picked up at the 41, and ran around to the 47, 48-yard line of the Bulldogs. And Brecksville going to have a great starting spot now. And the Bulldogs, like I said, need to dial in defensively here.
They need they need a good stop. That was a nice return by Brecksville's #1, Luke Gannon. Now we'll see if Stowe can make a stop here.
And Gannon showing off some of the speed that's led Stowe tonight to not kick it deep, to try and take away those returns, and you see why there. He's a fast guy. And now for Labus, looks to take the lead tonight. He's got a twin set out to his left, a man split out to his right, and he's gonna hand it off to Kubitz up the middle. Kubitz still on his feet, and he's gonna bowl over a pair of defenders and go down about the 40-yard line.
Kubitz just powering through the defense, where it doesn't matter if he goes left or right or in the middle. He's just powering through. And besides that one negative rush yard he had,
he's just, like I said, he's a strong kid, a power back, and when he gets going up the middle, he's just a hard kid to pull down because of his size and strength.
Mm-hmm.
Second and third now as the Bees go back to the line. A man split out to the left, and Kubitz won't get it. Labus fires down the far sideline, and about 5 yards too far.
It was just a little overthrown there, and he was double coverage too. That was thrown to number 4, Luke Buckley. So, misfortunate pass there.
And 3rd and 3 now coming up here from the 40. Labus a little bit too far on that pass there. Did have a man, albeit double covered, but 5 yards back, he had enough separation. If he dropped it on him, that could have been a really nice catch there and a big one for the Bees to get him in field goal range. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Kubitz in the backfield, hand off to Kubitz up the middle, and the Bulldogs gonna drag him down at the 41-yard line. For just the second time tonight, Kubitz is not gonna reach the line of scrimmage, and the Bulldogs gonna force 4th down.
Back-to-back third downs, they stopped Kubitz on the run game, so I'm curious, 4th and 4, they're on the 41-yard line, if they will go for it or try to pin him in their own end zone like they did before to get the safety.
And this is interesting because you are close enough. If you fail, it's not going to kill you if you come a yard or so short.
It's not terrible.
But you got to be confident in your punter's ability to place the ball and not send it through the end zone here. Labus, an empty backfield, rolling out to his left, tries to get the first down, and he's going to get it. Going down at the 35-yard line. That's going to be a first down for the Bees.
That was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. There was no one lined up in the backfield, so I thought it was a pass, but that was a good QB draw there by Labus.
A great run around the side, and good blocking there on the side of the offensive line, that left side, to give him the opportunity to get that first down. And pardon me, they're going to spot at the 36-yard line, a yard shorter than what I anticipated and what it looked like. But with a minute left here, the Bees are really starting to drive into Bulldog territory. Labus, 2 running backs in the backfield with him. Rolls back to pass. Pressure coming. Labus still looking for a man, and is going to fire deep to the end zone, and broken up there by the Bulldogs. In on the coverage there, Jack Ryden. Great play there on the ball.
That was a good play action pass. He went deep to his receiver number 30, Jeremy Genozu. So, but just like it's been a good coverage game so far. A lot of broken up passes.
Nothing really deep here so far to start. I mean, neither team really, outside the touchdown pass for Stowe, has been able to get much going when it comes to down the field aerially. And Labus sends a man in motion. Labus back to pass, fires, gets a man short, and down along the sideline, finally pushed out about the 25-yard line. That's going to get him to 3rd and short.
And it seems like Labus so far has been targeting Luke Buckley the most. So another nice reception there for a first down.
And pardon me, they're going to spot him far enough to get the first down. Bulldogs 25-yard line, 36 seconds left. Brecksville's knocking on the door. Genozo's going to be split out to the left. And then it's going to be Labus with Kubitz right behind him in the backfield. Hand off to Kubitz up the middle. wrapped up by the Bulldogs, still powers himself forward, and he may have gotten a yard there. No game.
And that wasn't Kupitz this time. It was his number 25, Matt Rose. So trying an alternate option for their running backs, and a nice stoppage there for Stowe.
That's a good catch there, Jared. That's a good catch there. And a timeout down on the field. And we're in the first quarter. And the clock just runs out here. Bulldogs up 6-2 here. 4-point lead heading into the second stanza. Jared, what were your thoughts on the first quarter?
The first quarter, there wasn't a lot of offense there. I mean, a lot of passes were broken up. So I would say for both teams, their defense is working. And then I would say Brecksville's running game, with especially number 33 Kupitz, is working a little bit better than Stowe's, but not enough to get in the end zone. So I think they need to do more passes and not focus on the run game so much. So we'll see if they can score more points here in the second quarter.
That's for sure. And the Bees are really, really driving here. And bare minimum, they're in field goal range. I mean, they had a 23-yard field goal last week against Barberton. So they're pretty close to being in the range where their kicker can knock that down with a lot of confidence.
And like I said to the top of our telecast, we saw their kickers warming up in pregame, and they got legs. Like, they can kick it far. They can kick it farther than most average people. So they have the weapons to do that. It just seems like they want the extra points. So we'll have to see when it comes down to the close minutes at the end of the game, if they'll go for field goals or not.
And you mentioned it, both teams in pregame warm-ups show that their kickers have legs. But kicking in warm-ups and kicking in a game are two different things, especially when the pressure's on you.
Yeah.
And now 2nd and 10 here from the 25-yard line. Bees looking to get their first lead of the night. Labus will have Kubitz right behind him in the backfield, and a man split out to his right. Labus back to pass, fires towards the end zone, and incomplete, and a flag out on the play. And that's probably a pass interference going against the Bulldogs.
There was two flags on the play there too, so there might have been an illegal holding on Stowe too, but it looks like you're right, Ben. Pass interference on Stowe.
And we're waiting to get word here of what the penalty was. My guess, pass interference going against the Bulldogs, but the pass wasn't catchable.
Yeah,
defensive
holding, yeah.
And that'll cancel out there. Doesn't matter, the pass was uncatchable. And that's a killer there for the Bulldogs. Give them a first down here.
First and 5, or first and 10. First and 10.
First and 10 from the 15. That's a killer for the Bulldogs. Labus. Kubitz in the backfield, and a man split out far to the left. Kubitz, hands off. Kubitz still on his feet, and Kubitz still powering himself forward down to the 5.
It was a great run by Kubitz. It's good to see. I got to get in the end zone. Breaking tackles.
And just, like I said, a strong runner there. I mean, there's not much you can do except try and just wrap him up when he gets going.
You got to triple tackle him.
I mean, very much. I mean, that's what we've been seeing a lot tonight. It's been gang tackling for the most part when they've been stopping him. It's usually not been one guy. I mean, the one of his 2 negative plays, Lane did just get him on his own, but that was a rarity. Twin set out to the left, and a timeout down on the field. Brecksville. They're just going to burn their second timeout of the half here. 11:33 remaining in the first half here at Bulldogs Stadium. And Bulldogs clinging on to that 4-point lead with Brecksville. I said they were knocking at the start of the quarter. They're pounding on the door now.
Yeah, first and 5 on the 5-yard line. So it should be. I think they'll be able to score here. I don't see why they wouldn't. And then Stowe's got to come back and answer from their points that they will probably score.
And I'd be surprised if they didn't Just hand it off to Kubitz here.
Yeah, I don't see them passing. I mean, unless you want to do a quick out route, I just see them giving it to Kubitz.
I mean, Kubitz up the middle, 5 yards to go. Personally, I'd just give it to the power back and just let him do the work. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do. And teams breaking the huddle now, batting back underway here. 2 men split out to the left, 1 out right. And Kubitz right behind Labus in the backfield. Hand off to Labus up the middle, still on his feet, and Kubitz into the end zone for a touchdown.
It's a great way to start off the quarter after getting the safety. Good to see Kubitz get his first touchdown. And we'll see what the Bees do here. They go for the extra pointer for 2 since they got a safety.
And Kubitz just got going there, really didn't get touched there, and takes that one in 5 yards to the end zone. And that'll give the Bees a 2-point lead pending this extra point. Looks like they will be going for the normal, traditional 1 point. Kicks on the way. And it's in and good. And that's going to make it a 3-point Brecksville lead here with 11:27 left in the half. Brecksville leading 9-6 over the host Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs are going to have to respond here. Something I've been surprised by tonight, they haven't gone to the run game very much. Brian's got a handful of carries, and he's done good with them, getting about 4 yards reliably on the couple carries he's gotten, but they really haven't turned to the run for the most part tonight. They've mostly been just trying to air it out, a lot of shorter passes, and obviously the longer pass to Stovall for the touchdown.
Yeah, they got to get over that hump and go over that hump, so they got to, either with the run game or the passing game, they got to figure out how to get over that hump.
And we're about to get back underway here. Both teams getting in their respective formations. Bulldogs got Mosher and Becton both deep to return. And number 46, Aiden Minnick, is getting things teed up for the Bees. Kicks on the way, and another line drive bouncing up the middle of the field, finally picked up at the 30, and the Bulldogs are going to run it up to about the 44, 43-yard line. And CJ Seckinger picking up off the hop there for the Bulldogs on the return.
Well, it looks like they'll start at the 43-yard line, and let's see if Stowe can answer from Brecksville's score.
And now the Bulldog, 2 twin sets either way. Running back to the left hip of Bainbridge. And handoff up the middle. And Michael Azar is going to pick up a few there on the short run up the middle.
We're seeing a lot of running plays so far in this first half, not too many passes.
Yeah. And Michael Azar, a name we haven't really heard much of tonight, but a standout running back for the Bulldogs, can do a lot of damage. Handoff to Azar, and Azar gonna get hit in the backfield for a loss. The Bees all over him as he tried to go around the left side of the line.
Yeah, that was a good coverage by the Bees. Jacob Ryan was in the tackle, then all the other Bees just converted on him. So it's going to be 3rd and 9 now. So we'll see what this Bulldogs do here. I think they would pass.
10:20 remaining here. Twins sets to either way. And Azar in the backfield. Bainbridge back to pass. Fires over the middle. Has a man. And Costa is going to be about 5 to 10 yards short there. And that's going to be incomplete.
That was a great route there. He had Costa open, but he just threw it like 5, 6 yards too short, just like Labus. So both quarterbacks not on target so far in this first half.
And that'll bring us to 4th and 9 here. Bulldogs going to be forced to punt again.
They have their offense on still. So it looks like they'll do another quarterback punt, unless they're going for it.
Bulldogs, a little bit of confusion on the sideline there with the play. And the Bulldogs are going to burn their first time out of the half here. 10-10 remaining. And the Bulldogs down by a field goal. And if you're Stowe, I mean, I can't imagine they're going for it here. Does not make sense. But I believe another quarterback punt by Bainbridge, that might very well be in the cards there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for it on 4th and 9. It's too early in the game. You have plenty more opportunities to score. So I assume another quarterback punt so far. And it's weird with the special teams. It's not normal. You see a little tiny kicks and then quarterback punts. So not normal to what we're used to seeing.
And now Billy Lukatic and Costa are going to be split out to the right. Bulldogs going to have a man split out to the left. And a running back attached to the hip. And Bainbridge is going to drop back and punt this one away. Punt is going to go up, land just outside the 20, and bounce out of bounds about the 18, I'd say about the 17-yard line.
That was a good punt by Bainbridge, putting them back into their end zone. So we'll see if they can stop from scoring this time and come back and take back the lead.
And not quite the end zone there, as they're spotted at the 17, but definitely back in their own territory and a good starting field position for the defense. And it'll be interesting to see if the Bulldogs can continue to kind of slow down Kubitz, as they've been able to do a handful of times, or if Kubitz is just going to continue to run rampant over this defense.
I mean, it's basically been Brecksville's forte, just giving it to Kubitz, so I don't see them passing it that much.
It's just been an old school ground and pound attack. One man to the right, two to the left. Labus hands off to Kubitz around the left side. Kubitz still on his feet and finally forced out of bounds by a pair of defenders after a big gain there, and he'll go out about the 34, 35-yard line.
That was a big gain by Kubitz there.
And it looks like they're going to spot him at the 35-yard line, so a big run there by Kubitz to start off the drive. And Bees break the huddle now. Labus is going to have Kubitz behind him in the backfield. Two men, split out to his right and a man to his left. Kubitz back to pass, rolling out, fires over the sideline, and almost got there over the middle by number 4 for them, Luke Buckley, but going to come just a little bit short there. And Buckley wanted a flag on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, he kept running straight, but Labus threw it short, so he had to come back. And the defender stuck out his arm and kind of hit him in the chest, and he wanted a flag but didn't get it. So,
But that's how the game goes. You don't get every call, but did look to be a little contact there, but I didn't think there was anything egregious to warrant a pass interference.
Yeah, not enough for a penalty, I don't think. I agree.
Labus, same formation, hands off to Kubitz around the left. Kubitz, gang tackled and pulled down after about a 1-yard gain. And Genozo and Buckley heading out to the right. A man split out to the left, and Kubitz right behind Labus in the backfield. Labus rolling out, fires along the sideline, has a man, toe tap, and he might have gotten it in. And they're going to call it good. It's a catch and a first down for the Bees at their own 46-yard line. And Jeremy Genazzo, good awareness there, getting the toe tap before heading out of bounds.
Yeah, that was good concentration, getting the toe tap in and completing the process to the catch, and that's probably the first completed pass we've seen in quite some time in this game. So it's good to see that the passing is starting to come through.
And now Brecksville is going to have two men split out to the left, a man to the right, and Kubitz to the right hip of Labus. Labus keeps it himself, makes a move, and he's going to get dragged down for about a 1 or 2 yard loss after he's not able to get around there on the right side.
Seen a lot of quarterback draws by Labus so far, so he's getting his legs and his arms a workout today.
That's for sure. Tried to sell him, get the defense to bite on a handoff to Kubitz before keeping it himself, but the defense sniffed that one out. 2nd and 12 now here from the 44-yard line. 8:24 remaining in the second. And the Bees, it'll be Labus with Kubitz behind him in the backfield and a man split out to the left. Labus rolling out, fires short, has a man. It's Buckley. Buckley holds on even through the hit for a couple-yard gain there for the Bees.
And Labus was luckily able to get that off, because if he wouldn't have, he would have been sacked. So it was good he got some yards and lost some yards, so I was happy to get that off.
And the Bulldogs were coming at Labus there, a lot of pressure, but Labus just stays poised and gets the pass off. And that'll bring us to 3rd and 7 here. Bees just shy of midfield at the 48. And the Bulldogs looking to get a big stop here on 3rd down. Two men to the left, Labus back to pass. Fires over to the far sideline, has a man, and a flag coming out. I mean, that's probably gotta be holding or a pass interference going against Stow.
Yeah, defensive holding on Stow. So far, 2 defensive holdings by each team.
And Stow gonna get called for the hold there on defense, and that's gonna breathe new life into this Bees offense. Second time tonight.
Yeah, new set of downs. There was a little grabbing of the jersey there, but I think there was just mainly miscommunication on the route there, because Labus overthrew it and the receiver didn't know where the ball was at. So, but either way, the new set of downs for the Bees.
And this is gonna move the ball up to the 42-yard lines in Bulldogs territory with 7:21 left here in the half. Bees are starting to get a drive going, and the Bulldogs got to dial in. Genozzo in motion. Hand off to Genozzo, going around the right side. Doesn't have much in the way of blocking. He's going to get dropped after about a 2 to 3 yard gain.
I'm surprised they went to Genozzo there. Probably giving Kolbitz a break. But good to see him running the ball, getting a few yards for the Bees.
And officially will go in the books as a 2-yard gain and bring us to 2nd and 8. It's going to be Buckley and Ganem split out to the left, a man split out to the right, and snap bobbled by Labus. Labus stays poised, fires, almost has a man along the sideline, but clean defense by Bryden, and that's going to be a pass breakup for the Bulldogs.
It's been a lot of good coverage by the defense today. A lot of incomplete passes, so that was good coverage there.
And good clean coverage there from Bryden, who's been a big part of the secondary here for the Bulldogs.
Both teams, they've just been knocking the ball away from the receivers, so it's good to see their good coverage and them knocking the ball out.
And 3rd and 8, another desirable down for the Bulldogs, but we'll see if they can get it done this time and force the Bees off the field. Labus, handoff up the middle to Kubitz. Kubitz goes around to the left, still on his feet, great blocking, and finally taken down at the 34-yard line, but some flags out, and that might be holding going against the Bees. And we're waiting for the official word. And it's going to be holding going against Brecksville. So a killer.
That's unfortunate. They got converted on a first down, and the penalty is going to push them back. There's been a lot of penalties so far in this game, especially by Brecksville. So.
Well, they would have come up just shy there. It would have been
just up shy.
It would have been
correction.
About 2 yards shy, but this penalty is a killer because it's going to bring them back to the point where the Bulldogs, barring a massive play, should be able to get to fourth down and get off the field. And now push them back all the way to the Stow 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 12 here, 6:22 remaining in the half. Bees are going to have 2 men split out to the right, 1 to the left, and Kubitz directly behind Labus in the backfield. Labus back to pass. Pressure coming, and he's going to get dropped for a sack by a trio of Bulldogs.
And that is the first sack of the night by either team. And that's big, that's huge for Stowe because it pushes them back even further, giving them better field position on this Brecksville punt coming up.
Yeah, I mean, massive play. Bulldogs get back there with not just one guy, but the whole defensive front gets in there. And they do a great job containing him, not letting him get out, and dragging him down. Big play for the Bulldogs. You can't understate that. And so that'll make it a 4th and 23 from the Bees 45-yard line. And Bees in punt formation for the first time tonight. Labus a high, long, booming punt, and a fair catch called at the 22. And 5:24 left here in the half. Bulldogs plenty of time to get something going here. And for a team with so much offensive firepower, the story tonight's been their defense digging in and managing to slow down this Brecksville offense.
It's been a mixture.
And now Bainbridge back, hands off up the middle, has his man going, and up at the 40, Azar finally taken down at the 42, 43-yard line, and a big run around the right side for Azar.
It's been, both teams so far have had a good defense, and both of them have been running it real well, as you just saw by Stowe. So they're both had the same play out here, no turnovers or anything. So that's good to see by both teams.
And Bulldogs trio out to the left, 1 man split out right, and Azar in the backfield. Short pass to Azar from Bainbridge, off the fingertips and incomplete. And that'll bring us to 2nd and 10 here. Bulldogs trying to get that passing game going again on the attempted pass to Azar. And Bulldogs coming down the same formation. Bulldogs handoff up the middle to Azar, who's wrapped up by a pair of Bees, and number 25, Matt Rose, along with one of his teammates, just wrapped him up and took him down the backfield.
Both drives here by both teams, the last drives they've had, the running game has been working well. They've been sacked for losses, and now it's 3rd and 13 for them.
And a 3rd and 13 after a promising start on the run by Azar to start off the drive. The Bulldogs looking for a big play here on 3rd down. Bainbridge back to pass. Fires over the middle, has a man, and that might have been intercepted. And it's going to be intercepted, picked off by the Bees, and going down at the 40-yard line.
And Ben, that's the first turnover of the night, and it couldn't have come better for the Bees, as they will start around the 40-yard line. So they're in great field position to score here.
And it was a battle there for that ball. Receiver, the Stowe receiver, and the defensive back for the Bees, both right there, looking like they were going for it like a jump ball almost, just trying to grab it. And the Bees come down with it.
Yeah, that was a highly contested ball, and Fortunate the Bees came up with it.
And now Labus looks to capitalize here. He's got Kubitz behind him in the backfield. 2 men out to the right and a man out to the left. Hand off to Kubitz around the right side. Kubitz gets going and drags his man down for about a 4-yard gain. And just under 4 minutes going here in the half. It's been a quick half here tonight due to all the running that both teams have been doing.
Yeah, the way the teams are running the ball, this game could be over before 10.
That's true. I mean, even 9. It's been a very quick half for sure. And now Labus breaks out into the same formation. Handoff up the middle to Kubitz. Kubitz still on his feet, stiff arms a man, goes over to the sideline, and finally he's going to get sent out of bounds about the 35-yard line in Bulldog territory.
A good run by Kubitz there. Stiff arming and breaking tackles, getting extra yardage.
And pardon me, the 36-yard line is where they're going to officially spot it. And Brecksville really starting to drive again. And now Brecksville going to flip the formation here. 2 split out to the left, 1 to the right with Kubitz in the backfield. Labus hands off to Kubitz, tries to go around the right side, but the D-line's going to drag him down for no gain.
But again, the Kubitz with the ball alive. He's probably at 15, 20 rushes already.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the workhorse for this offense for sure, which is surprising when you consider how good their quarterback is. For this to be their workhorse, that says something about him as a player. If Garrett Kubitz is your focal point with a Big Ten caliber quarterback like Labus. 2nd and 12 now. Brecksville. 2 men to the left, 1 to the right. And a running back directly behind Labus. Labus back to pass, pressure coming. Gets a short pass off and right off the lineman. And a penalty marker's down, and we'll see who that's going against. And looks to be going against Brecksville.
Legal receiver downfield, it looks like.
And we'll look to get the official call.
Legal.
And it's going to be a legal touching there on the lineman who was going downfield when the ball hit him. And that's going to be a shot to the foot for the Bees.
Yeah, the penalties are costing them early in this game.
And it'll be 2nd down and 17 now from the 44-yard line, 2:32 left in the half. And the Bees, pardon, 3rd down after the loss of downs from the penalty. And Bees a long way to go. Labus back to pass now. Stetz fires along the sideline, has a man, and he caught it. He caught it at the 5-10 and into the end zone. And the Bees are going to extend their lead there. Jeremy Genozo, great job there, watching the ball, goes up, gets it, and stays on his feet, and just turns on the burners for those last 10 yards to get into the end zone.
Yeah, that was great concentration by Genozo, and just seeing the ball, seeing that was short and jumping up for it. That was a great give it all jump right there, and it paid off for the score.
And for the Bees, that's going to push their lead to 11 here, pending this extra point. But either way, regardless, a 2-possession lead for the Bees here late in the half. Very desirable position for Brecksville. And Minnick on to attempt the extra point for the Bees. Kicks on the way, almost blocked by the Bulldogs, but it's going to go through. And no good. It's going to get sent wide there. And that's going to leave it a 15-6 ball game. Brecksville leading here at Bulldog Stadium with 2:23 remaining.
We have 2:23 left here in the first half. With the score, Brecksville-Broadview Heights 15,
And now as the lead starts to lengthen here for the Bees, we'll see if they go away from their early strategy of squib kicking or if they'll go back to more traditional kickoffs.
Yeah, it's been very odd to me that we haven't had a traditional kickoff so far in this game.
Yeah, both teams really looking like they're trying to minimize returns and the ability of really the returners to get blocks from the rest of the kickoff team. And we'll see if Minnick continues that strategy. Bulldogs once again are going to have D'Anthony Beckton and Clayton Mosher back deep about the 10. And the kick, a shorter kick, gets a hop, and on the hop picked up by the Bulldogs at the 32, ran up the middle, and finally goes down about the 45, looks to be, and 45-yard line's where they're going to spot it. CJ Seckinger, for the second straight kickoff, catches it on the hop and just shoots up the middle for a nice gain. Now 2:20 left, plenty of time to get a drive going for the Bulldogs. I'd look for them to get the pass game going a little bit more here.
Yeah, I would like to see both quarterbacks air it out more. I mean, we just saw a nice touchdown pass by Labus, but
Bainbridge now. Back to pass, no, hands off up the middle, and not much there for the Bulldogs. Azar, not much there once he got it as the defensive line came up to meet him quickly.
Azar looks like it's not getting that much in the running gain, so they got to try a different running strategy or try to pass it and air it out.
And the Bulldogs are going to have two twin sets set out to either end. Azar to the left hip of Bainbridge. Bainbridge brings his men in and sends him right back out. Back to pass now, Bainbridge. Pressure's coming, rolling out, fires along the sideline, has Costa. Oh! And just off his hands there, had it on the ground, and Costa really is going to want that one back.
That was a great pass play by Bainbridge, but Costa just couldn't hold it on for the catch, and that's unfortunate for the Bulldogs because they need that pass and score.
And our reaction the same as the crowd here, just letting out a no. And Costa definitely can't believe he let that one go. Would have been a huge play here late in the half for the Bulldogs. And that's going to make it 3rd and 9 here from the 46. Bulldogs in their own territory. Bainbridge rolling out, sets, fires, has a man, and broken up there by the Bees. That's going to bring us to 4th down.
And if the Bulldogs punt it here, it gives enough time for the Bees to try and chew the clock and get a score here. Even a field goal will suffice.
Yeah, 1:19 left. Roll off a little bit more for the punt. They definitely could do something here with the explosive plays we've seen that Kubitz can get on the ground. But Bulldogs are going to definitely likely look, and they will, go back into their punt formation and try and pin them deep. Bainbridge, a high punt.
Oh, snap, too.
And it's going to go down just around the 25. They're going to spot it. It looks to be at the 27-yard line as it went out down around there in the neighborhood of the 25-yard line down there on the far sideline. And the Bees are going to have 1:13 to work with here. And no, they're going to spot it at the 33-yard line. And I don't know about that spot, Jared. I really don't.
Yeah.
It looked like it went out of bounds closer to the 25.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an odd spot to me. You can hear the fans that are disagreeing with that spot. But either way, we'll see how Stowe defends here.
And Bulldogs, Mosher and Beckton back deep playing safeties. And for Labus, he'll have Kubitz behind him. A man split out to his right and two out to his left. Labus back to pass, pump fakes, throws, gets a man, and he goes right out of bounds at the 40.
That was Genozo. And it looks like they're just going to try to get out of bounds and stop the clock as much as possible.
And Genozo just had to look that one in there. A beautiful, nice, accurate pass from Labus along the sideline. And 1:09 left here. 2nd down and 3. And Brecksville starting to get something going. They have 3 men split out to the left. Kubitz right behind his man. Kubitz running out. And Labus keeps it himself, going down the sideline. And still going at the 35. And finally goes down about the 33-yard line.
That was a great run by Labus there. Just the field was open up.
And a holding penalty is going to be going against the Bees and negate that completely.
Yeah, the holding penalty is going to bring them back, so that's unfortunate for Labus there.
And big break for the Bulldogs there, as Labus absolutely got around the corner and just turned on the jets and flamed that secondary as he shot up into the 2nd and 3rd levels of the defense. And 1 minute on the dot remaining here. We'll see where they end up spotting the ball. And it looks to be at the 18-yard, or the 17-yard line. 2nd down and 20. Labus back to pass, fires short to his man, and down along the sideline for about a 10-yard gain.
Nice pass to Matt Rose there.
And as he got out of bounds, he will get the stoppage of the clock here. 50 seconds remaining, and that'll make it 3rd and 6. Bulldogs really need to dial in here and get the stop. And just, even if they don't score, just to get this offense off the field. Labus, a trio out to his left, and a whistle blown and a timeout Stow here. 50 seconds remaining in the first half. And what are your thoughts?
I think they need to talk it over to have them not convert on this 3rd down. And hopefully they get enough time on the clock to score again so they can make this a close score game.
Yeah, that's for sure. If the Bulldogs, you really want to dial in here and just stop them. Whether they hand it off to Kubitz or Labus drops back to pass, just get after them. Whoever has the ball, and just contain them. Don't let them make the big play. Get to 4th down and get off the field. Because at the very least, you know you're only going down to halftime down 11, as opposed to, quite possibly more. And I think that's huge. If they can just get the stop here, I think that's, even if they don't score in the last minute, change of this minute remaining here, that's huge for them. And now Brecksville got 3 men split out to the left, and Labus under center with Kubitz right behind him. Labus back to pass now, fires out short to Buckley. Buckley hit at the point of contact and dropped down at the 35. Big stop there by number 4 for the Bulldogs, Billy Lukatic, with a big stop there. Coming in right after the catch to take him down.
That was a very important stop there and a great tackling there. And hopefully it looks like they're going to run out the clock here, so they unfortunately won't have a time for the Bulldogs to get a playoff.
And you're right, 17 seconds on the play clock. About a 4-second differential between the play clock and game clock. And it looks like the Bees are just going to run this down as far as they can before punting away. And they're just going to take the delay of game penalty here. And 2 seconds remaining on the game clock. And Brecksville burning a timeout here. Peculiar move there. I would have expected them to punt there, lay in the clock. Just punt away towards the sideline, get it out of bounds, and take away the possibility of a return there. But they burn a timeout. Jared, do you think they're cooking up something down there?
They might be coming up with a special play or a Hail Mary for last play. see if they can get a good score there, but we'll just have to see.
And I got to imagine they're going to try and air it out here. Try and connect with someone, Genozo, quite possibly, and get some massive play here for a touchdown to end the half. Because I can't imagine them trying to run it, although Kubitz certainly could probably take it all the way with the ability we've seen so far in the first half.
Yeah, I would say the player of this half is definitely Kubitz. He's done really nice in the backfield for the Bees.
And looks like the Bees are just going to take a timeout and head to the half here in the victory formation. And Labus lets the clock run down and takes a knee, and that's going to send us to halftime. And after one half of play here at Bulldog Stadium, the host Bulldogs trail 15-6 over Brecksville. And Jared, what were your thoughts here in the first half?
A very low scoring half. I think both teams are running it too much and should try to pass it more to their receivers. And obviously their defense has done really good. I mean, only 21 points by both teams. So I think they're doing good coverage-wise, but I would like to see teams air it out more and not try to run it so much.
I'd say the exact same thing. I would say my key coming out of the first half would try and get the aerial game going a little bit better for both teams. And for the Bulldogs in particular, they got a lot more running back threats. You know, DeAnthony Beckton, Xavier Preston did get banged up last week in North Worlton, but they got other guys who can hurt teams in the run game, and they've really only utilized Jack Bryden, the senior, early on in the first half. He didn't do bad, was getting 4 yards a carry in the couple he got, and Azar hasn't had a big night to start off. Really just one big run and a lot of couple 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Greg Newman, Sam Sandman, Crystal Grossi, Nick Campagna, Tom Lewis, and student conductors Taylor Clark and Casey Jacobs, put your hands together and stomp your feet, but still don't touch your face, as we present the 2020 Stow-Munroe Falls High School Bulldog Marching Band. This is Dr. Love, along with my special guest, the Bulldog Marching Band, reminding you there are an infinite number of reasons why you will find love during this pandemic. So let's get those good love vibes going with Rihanna's We Found Love. We all know how that feeling of love from your special someone can be intoxicating. So now that you've, wait a minute, we already did that one, didn't we? No, I'm right. Okay. So now that it's Dr. Love, I'm sorry, I'm very confused. So now that you've found love, you need a song that shows everyone just how you feel. Celebrate that love and dance with the band to Kesha's Your Love Is My Drug. A loving relationship takes hard work, and sometimes your loved one makes you feel like you've been shot through the heart. Watch as the band takes aim at your heart with its Bon Jovi hit from 1986, You Give Love a Bad Name. Rush into love, then baby, I'm a fool because I can't help falling in love with you. This is Dr. Love reminding you to get your daily dose of love.
military for their service to our country and community. Tonight we recognize these families that support those individuals so they can keep our country safe at home and abroad. If you have a family member who is or was currently serving in the armed forces or is a first responder, we ask that you please stand. Please show your appreciation by giving these individuals a
Big Bulldog round of applause. Joining us this evening is the Jerose family with Mom Jen, Senior Erica, 8th grader Kaylee, 5th grader Sabrina, 3rd grader Michael Jr., and preschooler Mickey. But let's not forget Sergeant First Class Michael Jerose, who returned today from an extended deployment in Kuwait. Welcome home to all members of our 1st Battalion of the 145th Armor Regiment.
right, we're back here for the second half of tonight's game between the Brecksville Bees and the Bulldogs of Stow. And Jared, coming out of halftime, what are your big keys for both teams?
Both keys, I think, for the teams are don't run the ball so much, and I would use more play action and short route passes, and just no turnovers. I mean, we only saw one turnover in the first half, but just keep doing no turnovers, because turnovers is going to be key if they do commit some, because turnovers turns into points.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think limit turnovers. If you're the Bees, just stay safe with the ball. Don't turn it over. And for the Bulldogs, diversify their running game. Get more guys in there. DeAnthony Beckton, Bainbridge can run too. Bryden's done good in his limited carries early in the half. So I think diversify who you got carrying the ball. And then defensively, you got to get better at run stopping if you're going to come back here. Because Kubitz has pretty much just done whatever he wanted the entire half for the most part. And with that, we're about to get back underway here. Horrocks has got it teed up. And Horrocks is going to kick this one. A booming kick down towards the end zone. Caught at the 5. Buckley's going to run it up and get dropped there at the 18.
And that's the first normal kick we have seen so far in this game. And it was a great kick and a great coverage by Stow. So good start to their half so far. And we'll see what the Bees can do after the first half.
And Saku Kamara, a big hit there. He had a big hit 2 weeks ago here against Highland. Actually won an award from a local station for it. But another big hit there as he just leveled Buckley. Just hit him and just dropped him to the ground.
That's going to be key for both teams as well. Good tackling, because you can't give up yards after missed tackles.
And for Labus and company, they'll be taking over at the 19. 1 man to the right, 2 to the left, and a running back in the backfield. Handoff up the middle to Kubitz. Tries to make a move and go around to the right, but he's going to get dropped at the line for no gain.
They're all over him on that. So it seems like they're going to leave right where they left off. Just keep going back to the run game.
I mean, hey, it's the bread and butter for this team, as we saw in the first half. And just a week ago, he had 5 touchdowns on the ground by himself at Barberton. So why not go to him? I mean, the kid is a great power back, like we've talked about.
Yeah, he's really strong and fast, like we keep saying.
And Genozo's going to split out to the far right. He'll have 2 other guys split out to the right inside. And it's going to be Labus by himself in the backfield. Labus flips it up to Kubitz, running around the right side, gets some blocking, turns the corner, still on his feet, finally goes down. And that's going to bring him to about 3rd and 2nd.
That was an interesting play right there. A little flip pass for Labus right in front of. And it worked out. Got some yards, 3rd and 2 now. So we'll see if they keep going to the run game.
It was an interesting wrinkle they pulled out there. Had Kubitz line up on the left side of the line. And then after the snap, come up in front of Labus for the nice, easy flip. Shovel pass. 3rd down and 2 now. Labus hands up the middle to Kubitz. Kubitz is going to get dropped. And we'll see if he gets enough for the first down. He's going to be close. And they're going to give it to him. That's going to be first down there narrowly by Garrett Kubitz. And the Bulldogs come up just a little shy there of getting it to 4th down. And looking at some area scores at halftime, Archbishop Hoban up 17-3 on St. V in the Akron Holy War. And now 2 split out left, 1 to the right. Kubitz in the backfield. Labus keeps it himself, but he's going to get dropped. No, he's going to get the pass off and getting dragged down, gets the pass off, but it's going to hit the ground. And Corey Stees isn't going to be able to pull it in as he had to go back a little bit and was trying to pull it in while falling down.
Labus has been fortunate tonight that he's been able to get rid of the ball and only been sacked 1 time. He could have been sacked a few more times that he wasn't been able to get rid of the ball.
And looking around some other area scores, Hudson leads 37-7 at halftime over Medina Highland and Barberton leads Wadsworth 23-13. That Wadsworth team, very talented, has had a rough start to the season, to say the least. As Labus sends a man in motion and hands off up the middle to Kubitz. Kubitz still on his feet and gets into the next level of the defense and gets dragged down about the 39-yard line. And a big 9-yard run up the middle to set him up for 3rd and short.
Brings the ball up to Stow's 39-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
And finally, in the last of our area score updates, Talmadge shutting out Twinsburg up 17-0 at half. And now back to your regularly scheduled program here. Bulldog Stadium approaching the 9-minute mark here. One man split out to the right. Kubitz in the backfield. Labus tries to draw a man off sides, and it looks like Kamara may have jumped there. Oh, and that's going to go against Brecksville. And every time it's happened, this is the 3rd time it's happened so far tonight, I thought it was on Stowe, and that time I was really shocked. It looked like Kamara got the jump there.
I think he jumped after one of the linemen for Brecksville moved.
It had to have been just after, because that was close, but a lucky break for the Bulldogs.
And the Brecksville has commit most of the penalties today. I think the Bulldogs only have 1 or 2 penalties. The rest are on Brecksville. So
yeah, the Bulldogs for the most part, it's been the 2 holding calls defensively. Those have been what have killed them. But other than that, they've played pretty disciplined football. Labus keeps it himself, rolling out to the right, sets, fires, has a man, and he's going to catch it over 2 defenders. What a grab there by Luke Ganem.
And that was double coverage too. I mean, there was, as we have an injury timeout, but that was just double coverage right there by Stowe, and for Gann to haul that in, that was very nice to see.
And he'll go down. He went down at the 48-yard line, and we're gonna have an injury timeout here at Bulldog Stadium with 8:34 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And with that, the Bulldogs hoping it's nothing big here, and it doesn't look to be. And trying to get a number here appears to be number 13 for the Bulldogs. Vance Shepard, who got shaken up there on the collision, but gets up on his own power and seems to just have been a little bit shaken up from the hit.
First injury tonight.
Yeah, I mean, first injury tonight. Neither team's been unfortunate enough to have someone get banged up, and even Shepard looks like he's fine, just a little bit shaken from that collision.
Yeah, it looked like he landed a little bit weirdly trying to cover that play.
Yeah, and I mean, he did run into his teammate in the midair there, so he had that and the ground to hit. One man out to the right, Kubitz in the backfield. Labus back to pass, man coming in his face, and Kubitz. And Labus is going to get dropped for a sack.
That's the 2nd sack by Stowe tonight, and it seems like they're really applying the pressure well against Labus tonight.
And the Bulldogs, a big play there on 1st down, and that's just what the doctor ordered if you're Stowe. And we'll see where they officially spotted to get the call. It'll be 2nd and 22. And they'll be on the 36-yard line officially. A massive play. You can't understate that. Labus could have gotten out there, but he doesn't. Bad snap there. Labus picks it up, sits, fires along the sideline, has a man, and the Bulldogs go in to quickly take it down. He will be spotted with forward progress at the 41-yard line.
On a tackle there for Stowe was number 14, Kamara, and that was just great tackling there. And that's what Stowe has done so well of tonight, is just tackling. Even on that sack before then, they had 3 defenders, and they just been really tackling well tonight.
Yeah, this is a Stowe team that's done a good job of wrapping up. Outside of Kubitz for the most part, they've done a good job of wrapping guys up. 2 men split out either way for the Bees. Kubitz in the backfield behind Labus. Labus is going to drop back to pass. Pressure's coming, and he's going to get dragged down for another sack. Not Saku Kamara, number 47 for the Bulldogs. And that's going to be number 47, Ryan Oroz, in with a big sack there, a 2nd of the drive, and that's going to bring us to 4th down and force the Bees to punt.
2nd sack on this drive to open up the game, and that's great if you're Stowe. Now they chewed up a lot of clock, but let's see if they can answer and get a score here.
4th down and 22.
And 4th down and 22, so they got him basically right at the line. But B's going to punt now. And the punt's blocked, and the Bulldogs are going to pick it up, and it's going into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Sekou Kamara picks up the blocked punt and takes it in for a Bulldogs touchdown. And Jared, we got a one-possession game here at Bulldogs Stadium once again.
This is exciting. A blocked punt on special teams, and it's just been amazing to see what the Bulldogs can do on special teams so far today. And that is just what they needed. And they got that. And a lot of stuff has happened today, as it seems like Kamara got hurt after the play as he's down near the 5-yard line. Well, a great return from Kamara other than him being injured. Let's hope he's okay.
And looks like the Bulldogs may be going for one here.
The block was by Zach Lane.
Looking to cut it to a 2-point game. Zach Lane in there with the block there. A massive play. You can't understate that. Big momentum play for the Bulldogs for sure. And we got an injury timeout going on here. Kamara looks to be pretty shaken up. Looks like the trainers are stretching him out down the sideline, so this might just be a case of cramps.
And they got the fireworks going now too.
Yeah, one of the houses behind the stadium here in Stow. Set off fireworks 2 weeks ago against Medina Highland and doing the same here tonight.
Who doesn't love fireworks?
It's a great stadium. Adds to a great atmosphere at a stadium, that's for sure.
Seems like Kamara hurt his ankle or knee that they're checking out down there.
There's definitely something down there from the knee down.
I didn't really see anything on it. Did you, that he might have hurt it?
No, it didn't. It looked like he just picked it up and ran it in.
It looks like he's okay. It looks like he's going to be able to walk on his own power.
Yeah, he's up under his own power, hobbling. So looks like he must have just stepped funny and just jammed his leg, his ankle, pardon me. Whichever now and then, as I'm sure you know, happens when you're running. Sometimes you'll just land a little funny and just roll that ankle.
Yeah, injuries are not fun.
No. And Bulldogs going for one this time. And the kick is up. And good. And just like that, the Bulldogs have cut the lead down to 2 here with 6:07 remaining in the third quarter. 15-13 your score here. Not Medina, the Bees. Wrong Bees, Brecksville Bees. Clinging on to now a 2-point lead, and they'll look to try and get that pumped back up on this following drive. You know what, something I just thought about with that little misstep there? Both schools in Medina have bees as their mascots. Both Medina Highland and Medina.
Yeah, that is.
Highland's the Hornets, Medina's the Bee, but those are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never really thought about that, but that just occurred to me.
Well, when you look at team names, I mean, it's hard to come up with team names that are appropriate, and most of them are just named after animals if you think about it.
Yeah, for the most part, but
like
it's kind of like a meme, an internet meme from years ago. The "Can I copy your homework?" Yeah, just don't make it obvious. I'm sure you understand that. Some people listening understand it. Maybe some of the older folks.
Yeah.
That joke might go over their head, but they get the idea. And Brendan Horrocks, a booming kick down into the end zone.
Yeah.
For a touchback, and he's starting to show off his leg now.
Ganem isn't even gonna try. He wanted to catch it, but he also wanted to get to the 20-yard line. So I don't blame him for not returning that.
And Horrocks, a man that, through the limited time I've been able to see him against Highland and tonight, for the most part hasn't shown off his leg strength outside of warm-ups, but last 2 kickoffs he's just sent booming kicks down toward the goal line.
He can kick 40-yard field goals. He's got the strength to do it. But Ben, going back to the team names, is it just me or does Stow's S look like the Shrek S?
You know what, that's where we're going to stop this conversation as we get back underway here at Bulldog Stadium. Labus sends a man in motion, hands off to Kubitz up the middle, and Kubitz looks like he might come away with a yard or 2 there.
And it looks like they're starting to figure out Kubitz on the run game. not getting much yardage here so far in the second half.
Yeah, the Bulldogs starting to really get momentum. That block punt, I said it was a momentum play, and you're starting to see it. This team's coming out with more fire, more confidence, it seems.
Also assisted by number 91,
And that could fuel a comeback.
No gain, 2nd and 10 on the 20-yard line.
And they're going to officially say no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Bees. 3 men split out to the left, and Labus in the backfield by himself. Labus running himself around the right side, and he's going to get dragged down. Looks to be no gain there, maybe a loss of half a yard.
Rush by number 5, Joe Labus.
And Labus, really nothing there. He got some blocking, but the defense just got over there so quickly there was nowhere for him to go once he got to the end of the line.
Makes it 3rd down and 10 for the Bees on their 20-yard line.
Labus has a man split out to his right. A trio to the left again. Drops back to pass. Fires over the middle. Has a man complete. And that's going to be at the 32-yard line after a big hit there by the Bulldogs.
Reception by number 4, Luke Buckley.
And Vance Shepard, I believe that was the one in on the kick there. If I'm seeing the number, yep, it was Vance Shepard. A big hit there at the point of contact.
Buckley was fortunate enough to hold on to that catch. As like you said, he got hit pretty hard.
And that'll be give them a first down here at their own 31-yard line after we approach the 4-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Kubitz in the backfield, bad snap. And Labus is going to manage to fall on it after it goes up over his head. And that's going to be a loss.
That has been unfortunate for the Bees. The last 2 drives they've had misplays, at least on one play with the snap. They had the low snap on the first drive, and now bobbled snap by Labus. So I don't. The center and Labus are not on the same page, it seems like.
For Brecksville on the 24-yard line.
And that's going to bump them back to their own 24th, 3rd and 17 coming up here. Or pardon me, 2nd and 17. 2 to the right. Handoff to Kubitz. He's going to go up the middle and finally drag down at the 32-yard line.
Rush by number 33, Garrett Kubitz. Taken down by number 17, Clayton Mosier.
And Clayton Mosier, a standout here defensively for the Bulldogs. He's got some attention from Mount Union
Brings the ball to the
and some other
32-yard
schools,
line. It'll be 3rd down and
racking
9.
up some offers and coming up with a nice stop there. Disciplined tackling like we talked about.
Yeah, tackling is very important, and Stowe is definitely working well in that department.
3rd and 9 now. Bulldogs looking to get off the field once again. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And Kubitz in the backfield. Labus running, rolling, fires, has a man, and he's going to go down at the 36-yard line. And that's going to come up short and bring us to 4th down. And Stees there looks that one in, but there's nowhere to go. Clayton Mosher right there on him to drag him down after contact. Or after the catch, I should say.
Like we just said, disciplined tackling. They didn't get any catch after the initial tackle, or not any yards after the initial tackle. So it looks like after Brecksville's last special team play that they're gonna try and have Labus punt it.
And Labus comes up under center.
Or try to draw him off sides.
2 to the right, 1 to the left, and Kubitz back deep in the backfield. And they're going to run out the clock, and they're going to take the delay of game penalty.
We got some
Crowd
exciting fans tonight.
Got a mom or aunt or someone getting a little rowdy down there.
Yeah.
Telling the Bees to go back to their hive. But they're going to take that penalty now. And got to imagine they were trying to draw him off sides. I think they may be trying to say they called a timeout beforehand. I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, it seems like the refs are discussing.
And this is interesting. All the refs are having a powwow down on the 35, and looks like we're going to get an official call here. One official coming over to talk to Coach Phillips. And I'm still don't know what.
I think they placed it at the 5. They just haven't changed it on the scoreboard. But Stow's head coach is still confused. I think the refs are still a little bit confused as well. Okay, now they're calling the delay game.
Now we're, yeah, so it'll be a delay game. No, Brecksville wasn't able to get a timeout. And that's going to back them up to their own 31-yard line. And Labus back deep to punt now.
4th down and 10.
Labus is going to send a high kick down inside the 40. Picked up by the Bulldogs. Mosher reverses course, breaks a tackle, and it takes a third defender to take him down after a pair of broken tackles.
Return was by
And he's going to get dragged down at the 38-yard line.
tackle by number
Good, great start field position for Stow. We'll see how they want to end this third quarter out. Only down by 2 now for a chance to score.
32 left here in the
And
third
Bulldogs really getting this momentum going on their side. That's for sure.
for the Bulldogs
Only down
on
2.
their
A
42
field goal
yard
could give them the lead here if they can get deep down. And Horrocks has shown he's got a leg.
I think Horrocks will play a big factor in this game down the stretch in the fourth quarter because I think this is going to take a field goal score to win this.
Sends a man in motion. Bainbridge back to pass. Fires out along the sideline. Got a man, caught it. Going down the sideline, 40. Still going 35-30 and dragged out of bounds. It's Dalen Stovall. Almost picked off there, but just gets it right in front of the DB and turns upfield for a big gain.
That's what we've been looking for this whole game, a good passing yardage, and that's what Stow needed.
Yeah, that's for sure. They need to kind of open up the pass game a little more. And Bainbridge, handoff up the middle. Azar gets wrapped up for a short gain.
Michael Azar takes the ball to the 25-yard line. Tackle by number 30.
And that'll go down as a 5-yard run. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Bulldogs from the Bees 25 as we approach a minute left here in the quarter. Stow's starting to drive. 2 out either way for the Bulldogs. Azar in the backfield. Costa in motion. Handoff to Costa. Turns the corner. And he's going to get about maybe 2 to 3 yards on that.
Rushes by number 7, Jack Costa. He was tackled by number 70, Kurt Dascasil.
And 3rd and 2nd officially. They'll put it down as a 3-yard rush for Costa. And looks like we got a timeout down on the field. An official timeout. And looks like we got an issue with the play clock.
It looks like the head ref was talking with the Brecksville coach, so they're going to reset the clock to 43 seconds. There we go.
All right, so just a little correction with the clock. And we should be getting back underway. 43 seconds left here in the quarter. Stow getting deep into Bees territory. 2 out either way for the Bulldogs. And Azar to the left hip of Bainbridge. Costa in motion, now going right to left. Bad snap, and the Bees are going to fall on it. I think that's a turnover.
I agree with you. I think the Bees fell on the, and it's Bees ball now on the bad snap. So both teams today having trouble with the snap game starting the second half.
And a low snap there. Bainbridge not able to corral it, bounces in front of him, and can't fall on it before the Bees do.
Seems like we have another injury for Stow. I can't tell what number that is.
Yeah, can't really see the numbers from up here by the press box. But looks to be hurt. And with that, we'll take a break here while he gets checked out down on the field by the trainers. All right, and we're back here at Bulldogs Stadium. 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. Bulldogs trailing by 2, 15-13. And the injured Bulldog starting to come up hobbling with the help of 2 trainers. Still can't get a number on him.
It looks like number 1.
Michael Azar.
Michael Azar.
Pardon me.
If I'm reading the number right, yeah, and that's a big loss for Stowe if he can't finish the game.
Yeah, that's for sure. It looks like he's really shaken up.
Looks like he hurt his right ankle area.
Yeah, he's walking really gingerly with that, keeping that off the ground as much as he can. So it looks to be an ankle injury for the Bulldogs.
Well, let's hope he can return to the game, but it's not looking likely with the way he's walking off the field.
And now for Brecksville, they get to take over at their own 27 after they recovered bad snap. And Labus is getting back in action here. He's got Kubitz behind him in the backfield and a man to the left. Handoff to Kubitz up the middle for a short gain.
Rushes by number 33, Garrett Kubitz.
And 20 seconds left here, and we might get one more play here in the quarter.
Number 95, Zach Lane, and number 25, Brandon Alder. No gain. It'll be second down and 10.
And 8 seconds left. Brecksville's coming to the line here, looking like they might try and get one last play. 3 seconds. And we're just going to head to the fourth quarter here. Couldn't get the snap off in time.
And that is the end.
And through 3 quarters here, a fairly low-scoring affair compared to what we thought coming in. Just 15-13, Brecksville leads over Stowe here at Bulldog Stadium. And for the Bulldogs, it's a big defensive drive for them. They've got to get the stop here. Got to get Brecksville off the field and get their offense back on early on in the fourth quarter, in my opinion, to give them plenty of time to get down the field and at least try and get that field goal.
Yeah, because you know Brecksville is going to run the ball a lot, so they're going to chew a lot of clock, and they can't give up points on turnovers. That's costly for any football team.
Exactly. I mean, Brecksville with Kubitz, we know they're probably going to go to the run pretty often, so that's going to kill a lot of clock. So you've got to try and get that ball early on in the quarter, pardon me, so that you're not facing the pressure of coming down to that last minute, 2 or 3, where the pressure's just going to naturally start picking up in a game like this.
Senior Megan Montoni. Senior Aubrey McAdam.
And the Bulldogs are out on the field ready to go. Just waiting for the
Danny Filing. Ashley DeSanza.
And
Marissa Romano. Lauren Kisner. Brenna Helton.
just seconds from
Maddie
the
Keller.
open up the last stanza tonight.
And head coach Trisha Hodge.
It'll be second down and
Brecksville's
10
going to have one man split out to the left.
for Brecksville on their
Kubitz in the
27-yard
backfield
line.
directly behind Labus. Labus back to pass. Fires down along the sideline. Has a man with separation. And he's going to drop it. Had it in his hands, but couldn't control it through the fall.
I like the idea by Labus there, trying to go deep. Man coverage there. That was the intended target was Gannon, and just couldn't hold on to it.
And I can't follow Labus there. That was a beautiful throw there. Very accurate, on the money. Gannon just couldn't hold on to it through the fall and through contact with the ground.
There's been a few important drop passes by both teams tonight that could have been big yardage and big scoring points, but it's been a struggle for these teams tonight going with the passing game.
And now it'll bring us to 3rd and 10 here at the 27. Bulldogs looking to get another huge stop. Kubitz in the backfield, one to the left. Labus back to pass. Pressure's coming. Short pass right through the hands of his target, and that's going to bring us to 4th down. Buckley was standing there, had a man right behind him from Stowe, and the ball goes right through his hands to bring us to 4th down.
That's unfortunate to Labus because he's been on target the last 2 times and drop passes. So now, unfortunately, it looks like they're going to have to punt it with another injury by Stowe. That's
We have an official timeout.
That's number 14 for Stowe.
Saku Kamara, the man who came up with the punt return touchdown off the blocked punt.
It seems like, unfortunately, he's made his injury worse now and probably won't return to the game. It looks like his same with number 1, Azar, with the knee and the ankle.
Yeah, it does not look good over there. Saw him trying to sit on the bench and ended up just falling over, sliding down on the ground and laying down. And now Bees in punt formation. Labus sees a man coming in, but gets a high kick up to about the 30, where it'll go out, roll. And Mosher must have thought that was going to bounce out. Instead, the Bulldogs are going to get pinned down at the 5.
That was a good punt by Labus. That was unfortunate enough for it to just bounce back in to feel the play. And they started at the 1 today, and it cost them a safety, so now they're going to start at the 5. So I assume they'll try and run it and get out of that short yard line so they don't give up more points.
Yeah, 11:21 remaining here at Bulldogs Stadium. Bulldogs still trailing by 2. And really coming back into this game in the second half, out of halftime. They've been a different team for sure. I think they played a lot better, especially offensively. They've been able to connect their big plays.
They have the only scoring play for this half so far, so yeah, I would agree with that.
2 split out either way with a running back to the left hip of Bainbridge. Bainbridge back to pass. Sets up, fires a short pass. Has a man, Costa there. Defensive back Rose had his hands all over him. Costa wants a flag, but refs are going to say no way.
And I'm kind of questioning that play there because you were back in the end zone last time and you gave up a safety while passing, so I don't understand why they're trying to pass again here. I would try to get at least out of the red zone by running it, but
2 men either way with Becton to the right hit of Bainbridge. Bainbridge keeps himself up the middle, past the 10, and dragged down about the 15, at worst the 14-yard line.
That's one of the few QB draws tonight we've seen by Bainbridge, but it worked out very nicely, looking like 3rd and 2.
And a 3rd and short here, 3rd and 2, as you said, coming up here for the Bulldogs from the 15-yard line. And Bainbridge, you mentioned it, not a lot of running tonight. Last week, 80 yards on the ground himself, but not a ton tonight. Bulldogs coming out in the same formation. Bainbridge keeps it up the middle, and it's going to get dropped. Maybe a short gain. It'll be close. And they're going to give it to him. It's a first down for the Bulldogs. Just gets enough there and get the first down. And slowly but surely, the Bulldogs just managed to grind out that last play there and punch it over for the first.
Whoever gets moving the chains.
Bainbridge sends Stovall in motion. Handoff up the middle to Becton. Becton is going to finally get taken down by a gang of Bees at about the 18-yard line. Becton hasn't had a ton tonight as far as carries go. We've seen him mostly just on the defensive end playing for the Bulldogs. But he's a guy who can really hurt you in the run game as well. And Bulldogs once again are going to have 2 men out on the far right, 3 men here on the left, and Becton on the right hip of Bainbridge. Sends Stovall in motion, back to pass, fires quick out, has a man, still going down the sideline, 35, finally sent out of bounds at the 40-yard line is where they're going to spot him, and a big play for the Bulldogs.
And see right there, that's an example of what we've been talking about. Stowe has been able to get tackles and not get yardage after the tackle, and the Bees were not able to do that, having the Bulldogs get the first down.
And was Justin Waitman in there, who's been accumulating some OAC offers as far as colleges go, with a big play for the Bulldogs. Becton, handoff up the middle, still going, and he's going to break a tackle and hobble down to about the 46-yard line. And now just under 9 minutes to go here at Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs have driven up to midfield, and the running game is humming.
I got the tubas playing.
Yeah. 2nd down and 4 coming up. A trio to the right, 1 to the left, and Becton in the backfield. Bainbridge keeps it himself, goes up the middle, and it's going to get dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Bainbridge taken down, no gain by number 25, Matt Rose.
And Matt Rose just got there and diagnosed it.
Yeah, a few plays for quarterback. They've been calling a lot more QB draws this drive, so trying to take a different approach as they are trying to run mostly.
And the Bulldogs go back to the 2 set out each way with a running back in the backfield. Bainbridge back to pass, fires on the out route, has a man, up past midfield, and a first down for the Bulldogs. Justin Waitman, another big grab.
That's what I think Stowe has to do more. They have to go with the out routes or the slants, because the short passes, they're working for them. They're getting the first downs. And
So
I think they need to do that more.
And the out routes have been what's worked the best for them in the pass game. If you've looked at it, a lot of their completions have been on those out routes. That's been their bread and butter passing wise. And the Bulldogs are going to come out, same formation, send Becton out to the right, short pass out to Becton, and Becton can't corral it off his hands there, incomplete.
It's kind of good that he didn't catch it, because the Bees defenders were there, so he probably would have lost a few yards. So no harm, no foul there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Defender was coming in hot to take him down, so if he held on to it, he could have potentially fumbled it if he was able to take a step or two after the catch. Second and 10 now from the 46. Bulldogs, 2 men split out either way. Becton in the backfield. Bainbridge takes a few steps forward, takes a second look at the front, and steps right back. And looks like they won't get the snap off in time, and that'll be a delay of game penalty on the Bulldogs.
And we have now a delay of game on both teams tonight.
Yeah, and they're just a lap of judgment on the Bulldogs. Just a temporary lapse. Didn't get the snap off in time. Just about half a second late, but that's gonna hurt them. Looks like they'll have Stovall split out to the left, 3 receivers to the right, and Becton to the right of Bainbridge. Bainbridge fires out short, has a man, gets up to the 50, and won't be able to shake his defender. And a whole gang of Bees come in there, but he's gonna go down around the original line of scrimmage, and Waitman is gonna make up for that penalty there.
Taken up by number 3, Logan Doskasil. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
And now a 3rd down and 10 for the Bulldogs after the penalty and the catch by Waitman.
It should be interesting to see if the Bulldogs get close enough to around the 30-yard line, if it's a 4th down play that they'll go for a field goal, or just go for it in general with 6 minutes left to play, or 6 minutes and 30 seconds, excuse me.
Bulldogs flip the formation now. Bainbridge back to pass, fires on the slant, has a man, but it's broken up there, tries to go for Waitman. And a lot of contact there.
Yeah, Bulldogs want a flag there. I don't think they're going to get it. There's just really good coverage. So looks like they're going to have to punt it.
That really looked like a pass interference call there. I mean, that looked like it should have been clear cut. A lot of contact there from the defender all over Waitman.
Well, I don't know if you could see them, but the referee was signaling that it tipped off his fingers.
Signaling the tip.
Yeah, so that's why they didn't call it.
Bulldogs going for it now. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Becton in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. And another delay of game penalty on the Bulldogs. And that's brutal. And interesting decision by the Bulldogs not to use a timeout. Time going down. Looked like they were going for a play as they sent a man in motion.
Well, with now 4th and 15, I think they're going to have to punt it.
Yep, and Bainbridge takes us 2 steps back for the punt. Sends a high kick down inside the 15. Keeps rolling inside the 10, 5, and going to be stopped and go out of bounds at the 3.
Now, it should be interesting to see. Stowe has already been pinned back down by their end zone. Now we'll see how the Bees do at their end zone at the 3-yard line.
And a good opportunity for this Stowe defense.
Get a quick stop and get points back on the board.
And with the end zone right there, they've got another thing adding a lot more pressure onto Labus and Kubitz to deliver here.
Booster Club is proud to announce a new partnership with Waterway Car Wash, who will be a proud sponsor of Stowe Athletics for the next 5 years. Check out the waterway.com for membership and specials.
Stow-Munroe Falls student athletes and teams.
And 6:05 remaining here in the game. The Bees on their own 4. Backed up into the end zone. One man out to the right. Kubitz behind Labus in the backfield. Handoff to Kubitz up the middle, and the Bulldogs front just meets him there at the line of scrimmage. And looks like that'll go for no gain.
It seems like so far in the second half that Stowe defense is starting to figure out Kubitz a little bit. Not getting that many big gains this second half.
And they're going to mark him down for a yard there, get up to the 5. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Bees.
1 yard gain will be 2nd down and 9.
2 men are going to be split out to the right, 1 out to the left, and Kubitz lined up in the backfield behind Labus. Labus is going to hand it off to Kubitz, who's somehow still on his feet and drags a couple defenders for what looks to be a 2-yard gain. And Kubitz looked like he was dead in the water there at the line of scrimmage, but just turned on the power there and dragged the defenders.
It should be interesting to see what they do now, if they, well, since they're pinned back in their own end zone, if they'll throw for it or just keep running it.
3rd down and 6.
And Bees talking one over in more of an old school huddle before coming to the line here. Genozo's going to be split out to the right. 2 men out to the left, and Kubitz in the backfield for the Bees. They're running the option now. Labus looks like he's going to keep it himself, and the Bulldogs are going to blow that one up there along the sideline. And that's going to bring us to 4th down here, and a big stop for the Bulldogs.
Interesting decision to run it there. You know, it'll be interesting to see on this punt play what field position the Bulldogs will get, considering they have already blocked a punt in this game.
And already backed up into the end zone. The Bees are going to be a little bit skittish here, for sure, but definitely nervous. Because if you get another bad snap here, that's a safety, or rather a touchdown.
In the punt, number 5, Joe Labus.
Or a safety if you fall on it, but very good chance of touchdown. And the punt almost blocked there by the Bulldogs. Mosher's going to call for a fair catch, and he's going to go down at the 39.
Great field position for Stowe to start off. They got enough time to score here. So we'll see if they try to choose some clock and score, or just score right away and just play defense.
And Jared, we almost had a 15-all bowl game here, because that punt had 2 defenders right there in front of Labus about to knock it up.
Yeah,
block it.
It could have been another block punt easily. You see when you watch the pros in the college of how many opportunities they have to block the punt.
Not a whole lot. It's common to see one guy kind of get semi-close, but to have 2 guys in there, that's determination from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 1 guy. I mean, 2 is a rarity. Yeah.
Bulldogs at the 39 of the Bees. They got 3 men to the right, to the left, 1 to the right, and a running back to the left hip of Bainbridge. Bainbridge rolls out, fires, has a man, Costa. Costa caught it at the 9, falling down with a man on his back. Jack Costa with a massive grab for the Bulldogs.
It seems like they're going to do the first one, just score and play defense. And that's fortunate for Costa to get that catch, because he's dropped a few tonight.
Hey, whatever works, Jared. I mean, you're going to take what you can get.
Yeah, as long as it says W.
Bainbridge fit that into a tight window there. I mean, that couldn't have been much lower and been caught. Now 2 men out to either side. Bryden in the backfield, man in motion. Hand up the middle to Bryden, and it's going to get dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Crossed by Jack Bryden. Tackled by number 29, Ben Day.
And 2nd and goal coming up for the Bulldogs as we approach the 3-minute mark. Bulldogs got 1 man split out far right. Sends a man in motion right to left. Bainbridge rolling out, keeps it himself. Bowls through a defender and gets dragged down after about a yard gain. And touchdown Brecksville. I mean, not touchdown, timeout Brecksville. A little slip up there. But Brecksville
Both
burns their
start with a
first.
T.
Hey, they both start with T. You know, they got some similar letters. They share some letters. Hey, it happens. Everyone, it happens. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, Brecksville's going to burn their first time out of the half here with the Bulldogs pounding on the door. And Bulldogs getting out early out of the timeout. Looking to get going, trying to really punch it in here and just get back on defense and dig in, which is defensively that's been their bread and butter so far in the second half, is their defense's ability to shut down this offense for Brecksville.
Their defense has done way better than the first half, not giving up any points. Special teams has been a key part.
Waitman and Stovall out to the left. Another two men split out to the right, and Bryden on the left hip of Bainbridge in the backfield. Waitman in motion now. Bainbridge throws, has Bryden, and Bryden falling down, can't quite corral it.
So now you have the decision. Do you go for it on 4th or 7, or you bring in your star kicker and get the for sure 3 points?
You know, that's a big question, Brendan. Not Brendan, you're Jared. Dude, I'm slipping up here in the last minute here.
You're just so focused on the game.
I'm so focused, man. But and this is our first football game together. Normally I'm with Brendan. So
Yeah.
Just force a habit.
Short season too.
Yeah. And Brendan Horks will be coming out here to kick here. Bulldogs looking to get a 1-point lead.
I think this is a good decision by the Stowe head coach. Get the for sure points.
22-yarder on the way. Horrocks kick up. And no good. It's going to go wide left. And Brecksville is going to take over at their own 7. And a lot of celebrating going down there on the Brecksville sideline.
And that's unfortunate for Stowe. There's a lot of pressure there by Brecksville, so it looks like Brecksville is going to try to get another score, just run the clock out here now, and not get any time for Stowe to try to score again.
And that's a killer for the Bulldogs. An absolute killer.
Well, just imagine if they didn't give up that safety, the game would be tied right now.
That's true. That's very true. That's a good point. Man, it's been a great game. Low scoring, fair for the most part, but a good defensive battle.
That's for sure.
Labus has 1 to the left, 2 to the right. Kubitz in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Kubitz going around the left side. Bulldogs are going to meet him around the line of scrimmage over towards the sideline for no gain.
Rushes by number 33, Garrett Kubitz. Tackle by number 10, Stephen Mangira. 1-yard gain will be 2nd down and 9.
And 2nd down and 9 now. 2:12 left. Bulldogs need 3 good stops in a row here.
By a frame, you must go to the front gate and meet with Officer Barker.
And now Labus comes out in the same formation. He's going to hand it off to Kubitz up the middle. Kubitz still going. Kubitz breaks a tackle going at the 40, 45, 50, and dragged down in Bulldog territory, and that's a big first down. And that might put the game away.
A big first down, and it chooses clock.
And the Bulldogs couldn't wrap him up there, and Kubitz just makes him pay.
Kubitz has just been getting the ball fed to him. He's got a lot of big rushes tonight, a lot of carries. So
1:37 left here.
By a frame, please go to the front gate, meet with Officer Barker. Lost item, thank you.
Brecksville coming to the line now. 2 seconds. Barely gets it off. Hand off to Kubitz up the middle. And the Bulldogs are going to get him for no gain. And timeout Bulldogs.
Gonna try to keep as much clock on as possible.
Number 25, Matt Rose.
And pardon me, Matt Rose was in there on the carry.
By number 47, Ryan Oroz, and number 25, Braden Alder. No gain, 2nd down and 10.
And the Bulldogs.
Timeout, Stowe. First timeout.
These next 2 plays are going to be the biggest 2 plays of the game so far. Because if they can't get stops here and get that ball back, even with a minute, 50 seconds left,
Well, if I was, I mean, I don't know much about football, so I can't really say. But if I was them, I would expect the run. So I would try to do blitz or zone coverage. I don't see them passing it. I kind of just see them running the clock out because they've been running it the whole game. So I would do something in that familiarity.
Yeah, for sure. They got to look to defend against running. That's where they're going to go. I mean, any team's going to run in this scenario. So you just got to pack the front seven. You know, pack the box, and just go in there and stop the run, because you're probably not going to have to worry about the pass here, unless the Bees are willing to take a gamble.
Second down and 10.
Bees got 2 men split out to the right, 1 to the left, and Kubitz in the backfield behind Labus. Handoff up the middle to Kubitz. Kubitz breaks to tackle, and finally is going to go down, still on his feet, and they're going to finally call it at the 37 or 38-yard line. And Stowe burns their second timeout here. 1:04 left in the game here at Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs down by 2. And it's all going to come down to one stop here to see if the Bulldogs have a chance.
Yeah, Rose got a few more yards for them, so we'll see if Kubitz will finish it off here, because first down, pretty much the game is over.
Timeout Stowe. That'll be their second timeout.
Stowe's got 1 timeout left to chew the clock down, or keep the clock from chewing down, but I don't know if there'll be enough in the end for them to come back and get a score here.
You know, they have a passing game that can make massive plays. Bainbridge has a good arm. They can definitely do it, but
they just need
man,
2
it's
quick
gonna be hard.
stops.
Well, really just 1, but they'll have the punt on 4th down, unless the Bees really want to take a massive gamble. But I doubt they'll do that. I expect Labus just to punt it away. 2 men out to the left, 1 to the right. Kubitz in the backfield. 3rd down and 4 for the Bees. Bulldogs need a stop here. Handoff up the middle to Kubitz. Met in the backfield by the Bulldogs, and he'll be dropped for a loss there.
Rush was by Garrett Kubitz.
And clock's still running. Stowe hasn't called a timeout yet. And they finally will. Let about 5 or so seconds run off the clock. A curious move by Coach Phillips.
Yeah, kind of a late timeout there. Yeah, I would call the timeout earlier just to get as much time as possible. I don't know why he called it so late, but they don't have any more timeouts, so they gotta just get a stop here or an incompletion.
That's for sure.
4th down and 7.
And the Bees almost certainly are going to be punting here. I would be genuinely surprised if they tried to go for it. That'd be a gutsy move. You'd give back the ball around the 40-yard line. Yeah, pretty much up in midfield. And the clock started running here. Bulldog Stadium back to 51 seconds.
Press the wrong button, it's all good.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us. And now the Bulldogs, every play at this point is the biggest play of the game. Well, we said it, the last 2 were the biggest plays. Every play from here on out is the biggest play. And Mosher's going deep back to return.
They're going to be a short punt here to try to pin him in as deep as they can.
And Joe Labus back deep to punt for the Bees. Labus punts this one away, almost blocked. This one's going to go long. Mosher catches it at the 20, reverses course, still on his feet, goes through 30, 35, and down at the 40-yard line.
And that's the return Stowe needed. Now they have to be have good pass routes and hopefully get a score here. They have the time and they have the good field position to do it.
And the Bees may as well have turned that over on downs, as the Bulldogs will get out to the 38-yard line. That's the return that they've been trying to keep away from the Bulldogs for much of tonight.
Tackle was by number 5, Joe Labus.
And Labus in there getting the stop there.
Labus doing everything tonight.
And Mosher, great job getting up and in there through the D. 3 out to the right, 1 to the left. Bainbridge back to pass. Pressure's coming. Bainbridge, pressure's coming, and throws this one away. 32 seconds remaining.
Pass is incomplete. Quarterback threw it out into the crowd.
And the offensive line for Stowe, they got some big guys. Most of their linemen, key linemen, are over 300 pounds. They got to assert that size right now if the Bulldogs are going to have a chance to come back and stun the Bees.
I think big is an understatement, more like giants. Twice my weight.
Yeah, I mean, they're big dudes. 2 out to either way. Running back in the backfield. Bainbridge back to pass, fires over the middle, and up over off the hands. Could have been intercepted there. Had a linebacker in the zip code after it ricocheted off the receiver's hands. The Bulldogs are going to catch a break here.
That was risky, throwing through the middle and the ball tipping, and luckily that wasn't intercepted. So we'll have to see what they do here with 3rd and 10 and 29 seconds left.
Bainbridge is going to have 3 men out to his right, Stovall to his left, and a running back to his left. Back to pass now. Fires, and too high, way above Stovall's head, and incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 8, Galen Stovall.
And 24 seconds left, 4th and 10. The Bulldogs have no choice but to go now and get it done. 2 men on either side, riding to the hip of Bainbridge. Bainbridge back to pass, sets, fires, has a man along the sideline, and incomplete. And that's a turnover on downs. And Billy Lukatic wasn't able to corral that one along the sideline. And with 20 seconds to go, that's going to be it.
A very well-fought game by both teams. Is basically a defense game. There wasn't a lot of scores here today. So unfortunate for Stowe not be able to convert on that 4th down, and that field goal earlier. But well done by Brecksville, getting a lot of stuff going with the run game and being able to score well with that safety as well.
Yeah, just a hard-fought game, and the difference being that safety. That's going to ultimately be the thing that haunts Stowe tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we expected going in, and it didn't disappoint.
Yeah, great game. Not as high scoring as I would have anticipated, but just a great game. Great defensive battle here. And just unfortunate the Bulldogs are going to come up a couple plays short here.
And only, speaking of defense, they were so good not giving up points. No turnovers either. I mean, there was 1 turnover today, and that was, or 2 turnovers today, and that was it. So also in that department, good turnovers as well.
And Lavis takes the knee, and with a running clock, 15 seconds to go, that's going to be all she wrote here. And with that, the Bulldogs are going to suffer their first loss of the year and drop to 3-1 overall. And the Bees will improve to 4-1 on the year. And looking ahead for both teams, the next week the Bees are going to host Wadsworth in their last matchup before the playoffs get started. And that's first full week, the week of the 6th, 7th there of October. And for the Bulldogs, they'll travel up to Nordonia.